What is going on, guys? Happy Friday. I literally just got out of the shower right now, so wanted to look my best for the stream, you know? How's it? How's everybody doing, dude? Today, thank God for family, because my sister-in-law came in clutch and was able to take care of my baby, so I can actually be here today. So just want to thank her if she's ever listening to this. Thank you, Brooke. Appreciate it. But yeah, I'm excited. For some reason, I haven't really hyped myself out. Is this the waiting room for the AOC news? This is the waiting room for the live stream. So I'm sure they're going to give us news. They're going to give us updates. They're going to give us information. So once Ashes of Creation goes live, which I believe will be in about 12 minutes or 13 minutes, they'll have like a 1 hour countdown, and then they'll go live at 1 p.m. Central. So yeah, I'm excited. I really don't have any kind of expectation for this particular stream. I think honestly, a lot of the people that I've talked to have not been excited about this stream. I've talked to several groups, several discords of people, and I think there's a lot of people that are just either apathetic, they're just like, but I don't, it's like that hype you get when it's like a class reveal or something like that. I think that's kind of, a little bit different. I'm excited too, dude. That hair looking fresh. Yeah. What's up, Burns? Good to see you, man. Yeah, I hope they kind of talk about just raid boss design in general. Even probably mentioning like Tumok, because I'm sure they got the same feedback that I got, which, was a pretty resounding, it looks too easy. So I really hope they kind of talk about that. I hope they at least just mention like, we've heard, people say that it's too easy, and just address it, you know what I mean? Address it in a way that's like, we think this scale of difficulty is in line with what we want for this level of world boss. This isn't a max level world boss. So Tumok being level 30, if Firebrand isn't a max level, which I don't think it is, right? What's the point in having it like super difficult for level 30s to do, right? Not saying that it should be like a pushover, but I don't think it should be like the amount of difficulty that I think a lot of the people that I've talked to said it should have. You know what I mean? Let me see. Imagine they surprise us with rogue gameplay. Oh my God, dude, don't tease me. Do not tease me. Let me see. Not excited because of the topic or because of the last stream was a downer in their eyes because of the Alpha 2 access and key prices. Yeah, I think that's what it is, at least for the groups of people that I talk to. I think people are just reserving themselves accordingly, which is quite rare because most people are either like super excited or they're just, I don't give a crap. You know what I mean? That's it's really hard to ever be in the middle. So I think that's kind of where people are at. I'm always excited for any new gameplay footage because it always includes small hints about things to come. Oh yeah, like I'm always excited to see that kind of stuff. I just don't, in my head, I don't have an expectation of like what I'm expecting from this. Again, I think the other thing that people aren't taking into account for the level of difficulty is what Ashes of Creation is. Ashes of Creation isn't a PvE theme park game, right? It's been touting that Ashes of Creation is a PvX game. So I don't know how difficult a PvE raid boss or a world boss can be with the influence and also the potentialness of PvP attached to it. Excuse me, I apologize. Let me see. Would be neat to see rogues. I can understand the class not being available for us in A2 phase 1, the same as most races. Well, I think if they're going to ever show a class, it's going to be in its own monthly live stream. So, I remember whenever we saw that one live stream where it was like the story arc or the story chapter live stream, and we saw a fighter in the background, But again, even if you go look at that video again, none of the fighter abilities that we saw in the fighter showcase showed up in that stream. So I think Intrepid is very deliberate and very careful. Like, even if they did have a rogue there, like, it wouldn't really be indicative to what we're actually probably going to see for the monthly rogue live stream, if that makes any sense. Let me see. I'm not even sure if it'll be possible to join the server in the first few tests in phase 1. I mean, I'm pretty sure, like any other company, right, they're probably going to have some server issues, right? But I'd rather them fix that. Again, this isn't a launch, right? Like, this is a test. This is a launch of a testing environment. I think people have to set that record straight, right? This isn't a test of a launched product or early access. You know, this isn't that. You know, this is a testing bed environment. So things are meant to go wrong, because that's what we're here to do. We're here to fix. We're here to see, like, what happens. Like, War Within just released from World of Warcraft. The pre-launch actually went, the early access went smooth. Like, smooth. As soon as after the 3-day launch happened, server issues, rubber banding, delays, lag, just everything happened. Again, you can probably just account that just Blizzard being Blizzard, or I don't know, but at the same time, you're never really going to encounter all of the issues until you have a multitude of people all trying to log in at the same time, right? Let me see. It is challenging task to design open world bosses. Limits the mechanics you can use. So I bet it will be more about different phases of the boss. We'll see in an hour, I guess. I hope so. Like, I think ultimately, like, it's all about, like, how you're going to handle the PvP PvE dynamic, and then also adding the layers of mechanics and phases on these world bosses, right? Because again, you know, me coming from World of Warcraft, I don't expect a level 30 world boss to feel like a mythic raid boss in WoW. I think that's, like, super unfair, or like a very poor comparison, right? I do want them to be challenging, but I don't want them to feel like, you know, completely ancillary in that regard either. Let me see. I feel like the vast size of the game with no fast travel will make it harder for large PvP groups to react to events happening in the other zones, so conflict will be localized. Oh yeah, conflict will definitely be localized. I 100% agree on that. You're probably going to see the same guild or the same guilds in your area of influence, like where your guild decides to, like, plant their banner at and start going, right? I don't think, I mean, again, if they have world bosses all around the world in a very good way that's, like, spread out, I think we'll be in an okay place. I really do. I think we'll be in a very okay place. The problem is that if world bosses, you know, at least at the start, or I'm talking about the launch of the game, right? I'm not talking Alpha 2 or anything. I'm talking launch of the game. The only time it'll probably be a problem is probably on the launch, because one server might have a world boss that spawned, right? So instead of a dungeon opening or whatever, it's a world boss. And if it's a level 30 world boss, right? And if people aren't leveled yet, right, people are going to try to level as much as they can to try to attempt that world boss. And again, people are probably going to be attempting even at level 20, right? Because everyone just wants to see it and try to kill it. So I think that'll probably be the issue. I think as time goes on and people realize, like, hey, we need to move on, we need to go do other stuff, like, who cares about this level 30 world boss? Like, I think that's when the game will start feeling more, or I would say less Zergy in that sense. It's still going to be a Zerg fest, don't get me wrong, but it's going to feel less so because people are spread out more. Let me see. Dr. Burns, I've been working on walks and weightlifting, finished my kitchen cleanup. Health is meta. Dude, I have not watched that video that Dr. Burns did on Asmongold, but I've been saying forever that when I was Asmongold's age, when this was around, I was like 32 or 33, I used to drink Dr. Pepper every single day. Every day since I was like 15, 13 years old. And once I got to be 33, I started feeling a lot of heart palpitations. I started feeling way more anxiety and jitteriness. And it was because the amount of caffeine that I was just pumping into my body. As soon as I just stopped drinking Dr. Pepper, I felt infinitely better. It was like a night and day difference, to compare. Like, I remember how I felt drinking Dr. Pepper every day, and I know how I feel now drinking, like my water every day, right? So it is definitely a night and day difference. Mag, dude, what's going on, man? Good to see you. I mean, yeah, it kind of looks like it is. We paid to not only test, but to possibly influence the development of the game. Well, absolutely. I mean, I think, again, people just have to understand that, like, if servers are a problem at first, why don't we try to get that shit broken now than on the launch, right? Like, this is where Intrepid is really going to open up the floodgates, so to speak, right? We're going to have over 100,000 people potentially testing at the start of Alpha 2 in October. So that's a lot. And then we're going to have even more so just 2 weeks later, right? So it's definitely going to be one of those things that you have to just understand that, like, stuff is going to be broken. Like, you can't expect an alpha of a game to just go off without a hitch and to be super duper smooth and whatever, right? And I know people say, like, oh, well, Vlad, they've been working on this game for almost 7.5 years. Like, it should be smooth. It should be flawless and blah, blah, blah. It's like, well, I'm sorry, then you have very skewed expectations on what an alpha test is. Like, let me know what alpha test you did for your game and explain to me how that went super smooth. Because most alphas that I've heard, again, and I've never done an alpha. I'm not going to say that I have this experience, but I've talked to a lot of people and I've educated myself based off of their opinions and based off of their work in going and testing alpha stated games. Not early access, alpha, like true alpha. It's a great video, Vlad. Do a stream on the message needs to be given. Health is meta. Dude, I actually might. Like I said, I love reacting to Burns' content. I think he, if I were to want to ever, if I were to ever blow up, which I'm pretty sure Burns would blow up way faster than I ever would. But let's say, for an example, if I blew up first, I would want to react to more to Burns' content than all these bigger streamers so that Burns can blow up too, because his content is just insanely good. It needs to be out there way more so than what it is right now. I wonder if they'll have separate server types. I imagined an RP focused server would be the most fun to play in. So I think, when it comes to RP, I am actually looking forward to the whole RP thing. I really am. But I don't know if I want official RP servers. And I know, and I've talked to a lot of RP players and they disagree with me, and that's fine. Like, I know those RP players are going to have like a de facto, like, this server is the RP server, and all of the RP players, like, if you want to, look at your server list and you don't see anything that indicates anything and you want to RP, you're probably going to Google, like, where's the RP server in Ashes of Creation, right? And it's like, oh, most RPers are on, Archegol server or whatever, right? Like, I don't know. And so I guess, like, what I really would want is RP to kind of be spread out throughout the servers. But I understand that RP players actually want to mingle with other RP players, right? It kind of sucks if you're the only RP players, like, on your server. But the reason why, like, I hope, like, my guild actually chooses the RP servers, because RP servers, dude, they make servers feel more alive than all of the drone-ish theme park servers you've ever been on in an MMORPG. You just see, like a city or whatever, and everybody in the city is just standing around, just waiting for a queue or whatever. And then you go to an RP server and all these people are just doing these, like, weird and fun things. You know what I mean? It just makes it feel actually alive comparatively to feeling like a simulator. Like, that's what I've, in my experience, like, playing MMOs on RP servers, that's the vibe I get. I get the vibe that the RP servers are just way more alive. So, let me see. So you can mean RP guilds and RP nodes instead of RP servers. Well, I mean, I just would want to kind of spread the RP wealth around. And I don't know how big RP is going to be in Ashes of Creation, but that's why I also advocate for its systems to lend themselves more to RP, because the more RP players that we can attract from, like, Grand Theft Auto, or, whatever MMO they're doing RP in, Final Fantasy 14, Guild Wars 2, World of Warcraft, wherever. If you can make your game and lend itself more to having, like, an in-game biography or an origin story, so to speak, for your character, and it's like 1,000 characters that you can type. So when people inspect your character, they can read your biography. Like, again, if you don't care about RP, just leave it blank. You know what I mean? But I think having that literally built in the game would add so much value to people that are RP players, and I would be down for that personally. I would be really down for that. Let me see. I mean, COVID, UE4 going to UE5, the sheer scale of the game, lots of tech issues, new tech development. I think the public is just undereducated or uneducated at best and unreasonable at worst. Well, I am trying to be nice. No, dude, you probably said that very, very well. And again, I think it's because people don't want to truly be educated on it. Again, the answers are out there. There are videos explaining like alpha stated games or Ashes of Creation. A lot of the content creators have done videos about that. I haven't really done a video kind of explaining the alpha process, but I do know, like, I think Rives talked about it. Burns has talked about it. There's like a lot of people that have talked about it. I just think, again, it's the lack of people wanting to feel like they're actually understanding of the situation. I think people don't want to understand the situation because they'd rather be pissed about it than actually be like, yeah, I can see where they're coming from. Because it just, again, people like being angry on the internet. It's just, it is what it is, right? So, Burns, dude, like I said, thank you so much for stopping by, man. Let me see, once ERPers. I just, again, like, I think RP... Kona. Give me a second. My dog did something. Jesus. But let me see. All in all, oh, someone messaging me? Okay. No. All right. Is Ashes of Creation finally live? Yes, they are. So, let me see. Go here. Let me see. Totally forgot that today was live stream day until I just got the notification. I must be slipping. Dude, you're not the only one, man. Like I said, the only reason why today was actually going to be a very fun and meaningful day was because today is the final day for my wife doing the job that she, you know, has been doing for almost 2 years. And she's going to be, today's her final day. And then she's going to take a week off. And then she's going to go into another job. And so we're very excited about that. There's a lot of stuff that's been going on, like, as far as like me in general, that's been very like gratifying to see. I'm really excited for her. I cannot wait to see like what next year is going to be in store, because there's also something happening. I really don't want to talk about it right now, but there's a lot of cool stuff happening to me and my wife at the start of next year. So that's going to be really, really exciting. Hey Joe, what's going on, man? Let me see. Vlad, have you heard the new Tower of Carfin OST? Have I heard the new Tower of Carfin OST? No. There's a soundtrack? Or what is OST? Is that... I'm guessing you mean official soundtrack? Dude, look it up. Yeah. Wait, what? Where is that at? Ash. Is it in the... Flanker has it on his channel? Tower of Carfin OST by Ian Zur? Who the heck is Ian Zur? It's leaked by Steven himself as an MP3 on Discord. Okay, hold on. Fallout 3 composer, among other things. So wait a minute, are we not getting our boy Bear McCreary or what? Or is this guy going to be working alongside Bear? Did Steven talk about that at all? Yeah, we do. He is working alongside him. Okay, good. I was like, dude, I really don't want here. Hold on. I got to put my headset on. I love it. Oh my God. He's just standing there. Menacingly. Dude. Oh my God. I love the vibe. Oh, dude. What the heck? Dude, I'm sorry. This sounds like Death Note music. Like, if you've ever seen the anime Death Note, it almost has that vibe that it's almost like Harry Potter meets Death Note. It's so good. What the heck? You hear the chanting? Oh my God. Wow. Dude, wow was right. Oh my God. Dude, okay, so the vibes I get, I'm gonna listen to this. I'm gonna very quietly, if possible. The vibes I get is like Tim Burton, like Batman Returns, Death Note, Star Wars, Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings. Like, I get all of these vibes from this soundtrack. Like, oh my God. Like, what the hell? What's today's stream about? So today's stream is going to be about Firebrand and a new area, I think. I don't know if it's a raid. I don't think it's going to be a raid, but I think it's just a new area within the Riverlands. That's what I personally think. Because their official, like what Ashes of Creation said, is the Citadel of Steel Bloom. Are you prepared to adventure through the Citadel of the Steel Bloom? So I think the Citadel of the Steel Bloom is literally like another area very similar to like when the Bard went to that one area and basically did that real long quest. It's going to be something like that. It is Steven interviewing me for a full 2 hours. Should be riveting. Steven interviewing me. Oh, we'll see, Firebrand. Also, dude, it's good to see you, man. I hope you're doing well, man. But golly, dude, this was insane. I did not know. Let me raise the volume a little bit more. Man, I was not expecting this. Like, when did Steven drop this? 2. I've missed this out for 2 weeks. Are you kidding me? Wow. Well, it shows you how invested I've been. Jesus. I want my Alpha 2 money back. Let me see. August 17th. Yeah, that's wild. That's wild. Man. Well, guys, if you have not heard it, you want to go hear it again, here's the... Let me see. To be honest, I heard it first on Narc's channel. Oh, okay. Here, hold on. Let me share it in my... I'm going to share it in the... There we go. Wow. That was wild. And he did say people slept on it. Yeah, I agree. I mean, to be honest, like, so when is this one of the new people they hired? They hired this composer to start like working on this stuff already? Because I'm pretty sure if Bell McCreary wasn't going to be able to, because I'm pretty sure he has probably other obligations right now, which is why when I went to Bell McCreary's website, Ashes of Creation literally isn't listed on there right now. So I'm sure he has like other contractual obligations to do. Let me see. Look him up on Wikipedia. Insane resume. Prince of Persia, ethnic instruments like Arabic flutes. And again, for the Valoon, you kind of need that, right? Let me see. He often has collaborated with Northwest Sanfrino Orchestra from Seattle through, has the occasion used other orchestras. Oh, look, it's the official Ashes. See, whenever Zer works with a real orchestra, he always conducts himself. Wow. Okay, let's look at his works. Oh, okay. So he's done music for EverQuest, Star Trek, Baldur's Gate 2, Fallout, Neverwinter Nights, more EverQuest, Lineage 2. I'm sure that was something Steven wanted. 100%. Let me see. Any other? Prince of Persia, Twisted Metal Head On, Prince of Persia, Gauntlet. Oh my God, Warhammer, Naruto. Jesus, I love the music of Naruto. Fallout New Vegas, Dragon Age Origins, Rift, Terra. Man, this guy's done a lot of work. Holy God. And we're barely in 2012. Guardians of the Middle Earth, The Amazing Spider-Man, Elder Scrolls Online, which, dude, I am sorry. Elder Scrolls Online music is fucking goated. It is too damn good. Like, I love the Elder Scrolls music. Fallout 4, Prince of Persia again, Starfield, Warhaven, Ashfall. Interesting. And now Ashes of Creation. Wow. Wow, he's done all this trailer music too? Jeez. That's crazy, dude. I'm glad they got him. Like, again, I'm not saying that Bear McCreary should have been like the sole person or whatever, but I mean, hey, like anybody that they can get. And I'm sure, again, like I've never really heard Lineage 2's music, but you know, EverQuest and all their stuff, I know these are games that are very close to Steven's, so I'm pretty sure you see I make trailer music too. You Wagsy? Do you? I did not know that. Dang, is this another ad? Jesus. But yeah, I'm very much looking forward to let me just stop this. I'm very much looking forward to the live stream. I just hope they, because I did talk about this during my last live stream, which is about like the raid boss and world boss and how like PvP and PvE should influence it. The multiple phase mechanics, like looking back at Tumok. I kind of want Tumok to be a little bit bigger. I think he was a little like smaller than what I expected. Not saying that he should be gigantic or anything like that, but I think like a 1.5 bigger, right? Like the fact that he didn't tower over the trees a little bit was a little disappointing to me. Like he was almost like at tree height. So it's like a little bit taller, just like 5 feet, you know, maybe 4 feet, a little bit taller, you know? So I don't know. We'll have to wait and see what happens. But I know for this particular live stream, there's a lot, hopefully, that they're going to talk about. I think, you know, there was a lot. I mean, looking at the chat and everything like that, people have been talking about a lot of stuff in the chat right now. So we shall see what they end up talking about. Let me see. Nah, he was perfect. It was a great song. Like, again, like you think of Tower of Carfin, like you think of the area. It's like you think of like the music that was playing and then being in this area. Like, you know what I mean? Like the vibe check is definitely there. And I think that's the thing with any music, right? The music has to add to the environment in a way that a movie does, right? Like it needs to feel like it changes and it fits that tone. And I can guarantee you, especially after seeing this right now, Exiled Ranger, dude, thank you so much for the sub, dude. Thank you. Very much appreciate that. Thank you. You're definitely going to, you know, see that and hear that and feel that. And I think that's what makes music so great in games. Whenever you have great music, like you'll never want to turn it off. But whenever the music starts to feel just like background, like it feels so ancillary and you just don't, like it doesn't even matter to you, then I think that's where, again, you're just making music for the sake of the making music, and it's not fitting to the tone, it's not fitting to the environment, it's not fitting to like the moment, you know? And every time, like, again, like when I listen to the Elder Scrolls music, and me not even being an Elder Scrolls player, it always puts me in that fantasy mode, right? Like that's the thing that I've always appreciated from the Elder Scrolls music. That's why if anybody ever listened to my earlier streams, I always played the ESO music because it was just so good. Music definitely needs to be a bit of mix of subtlety yet recognizable. People need to hear it and instantly understand what they're listening to. WoW, Lotror, ESO has always done a great job with that. Yeah, I think honestly, in my opinion, WoW did a great job. I feel like the music now in WoW it doesn't do it for me anymore. Like, I don't know, especially playing this new expansion, like I turned on the music again, and to me it was okay, right? It didn't really add anything to me. The dungeon music was okay. Like it again, like I don't know, maybe it's because like I'm just done with WoW, but I don't know. New WoW music is like Marvel soundtracks to me. Could be from anything. Very generic. Yes, that's the thing. Like it's just very. It's just uninteresting at the end of the day, and so I did give it a chance. I actually had the music on for WoW for the first 3 days of early access. You know, so it wasn't I just listened to it for like an hour and turned it off. Like I listened to it for all 3 days, and I played a lot during early access. So, but now I'm just kind of thinking of watching this kind of gameplay and then going through and being like, oh damn, like listening to this music. I should probably do that. Hold on. Where's my video, or where's my history real quick? There we go. I don't know if I should turn on the music, but it's like listening to this music and just seeing the area. Like, dude, wasn't that perfect? Like, what the heck? It's like looking at the tower. Dude, that was so perfect. That was crazy. But it's like you get that vibe, right? And that's the thing. Like, when you listen to this music and you're in the area, it feels very fitting. Like you feel like you're in a very like corrupted area. The zone's like bleak. It you know, Blood's, you know, like what is this? The quest called Blood is Due, I think is what it's called. Nemesis, what's going on, man? Good to see you, man. I don't know. It fits. It just has that mysticism to it, that fantastical mysticism. And that scary, like, unnerving vibe. Can you bump the audio a bit? Yeah, absolutely. 1 second. You see, I really hope that certain gear is special to dungeons. Part of what made Classic WoW so cool was knowing where people can get certain pieces from. People can wear their accomplishments. Absolutely. And I think there is going to be bosses inside the open world dungeons that are going to be very identifiable. So, yeah. Dude. I don't know about you guys, but man, this is so good. Like listening to this music and watching the Tower of Karphin stuff like really puts me on. Like it's just like, wow, this is good. But all in all, like I still want to see what Bear McCreary cooks up too, man. Because his style is so freaking good too. I mean, dude, the Walking Dead music is so good. Like not just the opening theme, but like even like in the show's music too. Let me see the even the Olafone music. I loved it. The entrance ambience of that zone is awesome. I gotta go back and listen to it again, to be honest. Like none of the music was like, oh wow, like this, like nothing stood out to me personally. Let me see. The whole corrupted region gives me the same vibe as Divinity Original Sin 2. There was a whole island that had been corrupted and overtaken by a demon who corrupted an ancient elf tree. The level of Viscera is definitely on that level. Oh yeah. I don't know. It's so good. It's only 3 minutes long. I want it to be like on infinite loop. But yeah, it's really good. I don't know. Like it's I'm glad Rockta, thank you so much dude for bringing that to my attention, man. Thank you. Viscera, body parts, blood, gore. Oh, okay. I learned a new word today. Thank you, Exalted Ranger. Appreciate it. Yeah, I mean, the thing is, too, is that one thing that I was really excited by, and I said this on my stream, was that Ashes of Creation is going to be an M. So here, look, let me do this real quick. Ashes of Creation is going to be rated M for mature. And I'm not going to play the video. If you want to go back and watch the video, you definitely can. But I made a video saying Ashes of Creation could be a mature rated MMORPG. This was 7 months ago that I made this video. And I remember when I made this video, the amount of comments I got. Let me see. Let me see. Let me see if it's rated 40 plus, it'll still sell like hotcakes. I'd be happy if WoW allowed us to make pants invisible, unlike other Xbox spots. Oh yeah, Ashes of Creation should be immature rated game. Yes, I know. My grammar is horrible. Let me see. I would like Ashes to at least borderline mature. I really enjoy intense content through grimdark fantasy books, shows, and games, but there's plenty of options out there besides this MMO, and I definitely don't want a pasteurized story of happy-go-lucky feeling, lucky feelings, and the power of friendship overcoming the big bad evil. Well, again, if this is going to be the de facto like Game of Thrones MMO, you're going to be talking about very adult themes, right? And so that's, to me, like the biggest thing of why I was advocating for mature rated MMORPG. Not because of like nudity. Like I could give two shits about that. It's more just telling a mature story that you're not shackled by a teen rating, right? This is the same thing of like Deadpool, in my opinion. Like Deadpool could work as a PG-13 rated game or a movie, but you're shackled by so much. And I just didn't want Ashes to be shackled, right? So that was the biggest thing. And you see, mature rating is not important to me. What Ashes clearly lacks is testosterone and design, especially when it comes to the armor and models. Everyone is so lanky with no posturing to them. That's why I think Vec are the best race so far in game. They have their signature hunch posture, and it gives them character. Look at WoW. It only showed a silhouette of a race. You know exactly which one it is by its size, posture, and muscles. I don't see that in AOC, and it worries me because it feels that game lacks identity. Mood in the game is also weird. Every zone feels like a utopia, even deserts. There's no sense of danger in any of them. Gray skies, sandstorms, heavy rain, blizzard. I need to see that. Everything is so Disney so far. Let me see. No, just no. I don't want this game being in the news for heavy nudity. Mom's just finding out it's safer. And we'll have a much broader audience. And again, I mentioned the whole nudity thing. Like it was just more so, it wasn't really encouraging nudity. I honestly said like no to nudity. It's just, again, like having the adult themes, having cussing. Like I think, it doesn't have to be like Deadpool cussing, but just like, again, don't be shackled. You know what I mean? Like if you want to say son of a bitch, the F word, the S word, whatever word, you know what I mean? Just say whatever you want. You know what I mean? You're not shackled by it. People know the silhouettes in WoW because they've been playing it for 20 years. Yeah, I know. It's, again, You see, well, it's a subscription-based game, so how many kids will/play it anyway? Witcher 3 is also a nice example of adult-themed world. Exactly, and Witcher 3 is an amateur. It's an immature rated game. Witcher is not rated teen for teens, is it? Yeah, it's rated MA. Input game. Yep. Why is Richard game rated M? The central character engages in sexual activity with prostitutes and female companions. Oh God. Hey, well, dude, maybe again there'll be some brothels in Ashes of Creation, and you can engage yourself in some sexual escapades of such. You know what I mean? Like, who's to say you can't do that, right? Let me see. I hope Intrepid won't bleep out swear words too, except for some very obvious ones. No, again, if you're immature rated, like, you can say whatever you want. Like, again, this is what made Game of Thrones so good. Honestly, like, the nudity was just like, it was so thrown in there. Like, it wasn't even needed. Game of Thrones felt so good because it wasn't shackled in any way. Like, you felt like this was just going full bore in fantasy, full bore into like the dark arts, or like whatever the case is, right? All of the mysticism that Game of Thrones had, it oozed that because it wasn't shackled by anything. Like, that's what I want for Ashes of Creation. I want Steven, or whatever story they're cooking, I want it to have one, testosterone. I don't want, the whole like going into the feelings portion or whatever. Like, again, not saying you can't sympathize with characters or whatever, but I think, especially coming from World of Warcraft, I think we've gone way too far in that direction. And I think people sometimes just want characters that are just meant to be like badasses and aren't trying to be badasses. That's the thing I feel more so about World of Warcraft now, is that you see people that are trying to be badass more so than that are badass. Like, that's kind of like the biggest thing I can see. Axe/face. Exactly. 100% Vale. 100%. So I'm really glad though. Like, I'm really, really, really excited. Because I brought this topic up a long time ago. And I know there were some people that gave me some flack because they were like, well, no, I don't want it to be mature rated because I want my daughter or I want my son to play it with me or whatever. And it's like, well, like, dude, I played immature rated games all the time. Dude, bro, I was like 8 years old playing Mortal Kombat 2, Street Fighter. I was definitely playing like mature rated games. 100%. You said shackled like 20 times in the past 5 minutes. So also brothel once. I think I think Smidgen Freud would have something to say about all this, Vlhadus. If there's something you need to talk about, I'm here for you, man. I probably missed it in Discord DMs. No, I'm just saying, like, it's just, there's a lot of stories that feel so reserved. I'll use another word. And there was an interview that I saw with Vince Vaughn, and I think he was talking about why there isn't comedies the way there was back in the 2000s. Like, you think of Anchorman, you think of Step Brothers, you think of I'm sorry, like, my mind can't think. Those two movies, like Anchorman, Step Brothers, Wedding Crashers, like all those kinds of movies. The reason why they don't exist today is because you think of like cancel culture. Like, dude, I remember when people during COVID were trying to cancel The Office because of a scene. And I'm like, bro, what? You see, do you think there should be music cues for boss mechanics? Absolutely. 100%. There should be music cues. There should be phases. Like, phase 1 should have like one beat of music, phase 2 should have another beat of music, and then phase 3 should have like its epic climaxal music. Like, I think that would be so freaking awesome. Let me see, my sister has been through a lot. Yeah, a lot of dick. Dude, that's what I mean. It's like you just get canceled for saying anything nowadays. So, I mean, Vince Vaughn basically said a lot of the studio heads are scared because, oh, we're afraid our movie's gonna be canceled if we go like too far. But now it's kind of the opposite now. Like, I think Disney has been losing billions due to being like woke, right? You have like the Acolyte that was, bro. I didn't see the Acolyte. I didn't see that show, but I watched every single episode the Critical Drinker did about the Acolyte, and that was hilarious. The fact that they did that one scene about, the power of one, the power of many, like, bro, like, I don't even know what Disney was thinking. And now you think of Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, right? That movie that's coming out. And the dislike ratio on that is crazy. So it's, I think we're finally course correcting society a bit, right? So it's like, I think people are like, I remember back in 2016 when it was like the popular thing to cancel like groups of people or single people or, whatever the case was, right? Now I just think that it's kind of weighing on people like about it. It's like, who cares? Like, let's move on. Let's be adults. Like, I think that's kind of like where we're at. I don't know. It's kind of hard for society to ever evolve. And I hope eventually, like, we can get to a point where we can kind of grow past it. Let me see. Are they even trying to emphasize on trying Eminem? Yeah. Let me see. Mickey Mouse thing. Disney, dude. People can't tell what's a joke and what is being said in an offensive manner these days. Basically, it all depends on the person who is saying X joke. Well, absolutely, right? Like, it's, I think comedians now are having such a hard time because comedians traditionally always kind of went there because that's their job. Like, their job is to take like opinions and or like national subject matters or things that are on the public's zeitgeist, like in people's minds, and talk about them and flip it, and make jokes about it. Right. Like, I remember, oh my God, it was like a Robin Williams special and was it during or after? I can't remember. I think it was actually before 9/11. And then he did another special after 9/11. And then again, there was people there that were like slightly making jokes about 9/11, like in that kind of way of like, I'm glad we, everyone's, there was people that were safe, but then there was a lot of people that died and, all this other stuff. And so now it's like, I think people are just gotten past it, right? It's been long enough. So we'll see. You see, being offended is a choice and completely subjective. It's impossible to make laws around it. Yeah, no, it's true. Let's just change culture. I mean, they still have put in statues of that guy that killed Hitler. Also true. I mean, I don't want to talk about that particular subject, but all I am saying is like going back to being M for mature. I love Game of Thrones. I have all the seasons. I've watched Game of Thrones several times over, minus the last season. I only watched the last season, I think, twice. I've seen seasons 1 through 7 probably about 5 times. Like, I really do enjoy Game of Thrones. And every time when I see Ashes of Creation, for some reason, my mind just goes to Game of Thrones. Like, every time. And I just think of, like, what Ashes could really benefit from by not being, shackled. I'm going to say it again, Firebrand, shackled. And just kind of go with it, Let me see. We need that roughness back without being too try hard. Yeah. I mean, again, it's kind of like what we were talking about earlier, right? With like, Warhammer, looking at Diablo 4 and then looking at Diablo 2. Like, it's just, again, there's this like softness now, right? This very safe space that I think a lot of games want to play in. And again, you look at even like Baldur's Gate 3. Baldur's Gate 3 literally threw out, all like the playbook basically, and just made a game that was fun, that was super rich in lore, great story, and it didn't mind to like poke fun at itself, right? Like, and some of the stuff like was so good. Like, I remember like whenever you went into the barn, do y'all remember the barn cinematic? You know, stuff like that. Like, that's great. That's what games should be doing. It's like there's a whole push for one world government. If we can't have state and local governments that aren't full of corruption and shitty people that only truly serve themselves and political ideology, if we can't get on the right side of that kind of level, then how the fuck do people think we can do to get it right on the global level? It's so ridiculous, it's laughable. Well, I've always been a doomer in that sense because I always feel like it's going to get worse before it gets better. That's just my opinion. I always feel like it's going to get worse before it gets better. So we shall see. Just kind of my response to cancel culture comments and course corrections back to sanity. I think, again, there are people that will always be that way, but I think there's a lot more level-headed people speaking out now, finally, that is getting people to finally start understanding. And I think, again, the people that are angry, you can only be angry for so long up until you just like don't want to care about it. Anger is one of those emotions that takes a lot of focus to have. Focusing on being angry isn't good. It doesn't feel good. And I think that most people that are always operating under the anger emotion, it gets tiring. Like, it just does. Let me see. Change the stream title to try not to get canceled stream. Oh my God. I mean, honestly, with this stream, I really hope Margaret and Steven are going to cook on this stream. Like, we haven't really seen a world boss since Tumok. And again, when I was looking at Tumok, if we go and look at the Ashes wiki real quick, I was basically looking at, if you go back to Tumok the Wretched. So in Alpha 1, when we went to go look at the Emerald Dragon of Fire, the Emerald, or it was like the different fire dragons, there was 3 of them. There was the Frost, the Green. There was the Blue, the Green, and the Red. And the mechanics that those, Beaver Pirate, dude, thank you so much for the sub, dude. Thank you. And hello as well, dude. Hope you're enjoying the stream. The one thing I really enjoyed about this particular boss was it had 3 phases and a lot of different mechanics that you had to deal with. If we go look at Alpha 1 and the dragons that you had to face in Alpha 1, those dragons had 2 mechanics that you had to deal with. They were basic, like basic. And so I love the fact that we're now like cooking. And so again, you literally have all of this to deal with in phase 1. Right? So that's really good. So I like the fact that there is actually a good bulk of mechanics. And again, all this, honestly, all it needs is just a little bit of number tuning, right? If you want to make it more difficult. But looking at all the mechanics here, there's quite a bit of mechanics. And then you also have to think in consideration of PvP. So not only have to be cognizant of what the boss is doing, where the boss is, and what mechanic they're on, what phase you're on, but you also have to worry about actual players. I feel like if they really crank the difficulty up in these world bosses will just never die. Because it's, you know, again, like, I feel like if you're the only raid there, because you're doing it like at 2:30 in the morning or something like that, cool. But I think if you're going to do a raid boss or a world boss like during the day, I think it's going to be a very different story. Like, very different story. 5 months sub, dude. Yeah, man, dude. Like I said, I really hope you enjoy the emotes, man. Let me see. You're right. He referred them to as Frost, Fire, and Forest/Earth. Yeah. As much as people hate it, I want to see punish mechanics like Millennia or that one WoW boss that a death heals 5% HP. Ooh, God, that'd be brutal. That would be a boss that would be super hard to kill. Like, super hard to kill. Let me see. The less often they are killed, the better the rewards can be. Well, because I feel like then you would basically degen by just killing like your own guild in the vicinity to grief other people killing the dragon, right? If you had, I kind of would rather them stray away from that kind of stuff, but I am okay with a one-shot mechanic. Like if it's a very obvious like position, or it's a very obvious like cast, it's like a 4.5 second cast time, bro, that's a long time for you not to be paying attention, right? So I am totally okay with having like a long cast time that a boss does, and if you are in that line or if you're in that mechanic, you're dead. There's no saving you. Like I'm okay with stuff like that personally. Let me see, as long as there are bonuses for Undyne runs. Yeah. I mean, unless there's like some kind of achievement for it, right? Less often they are killed, the better the rewards can be. That's true. Let me see. Shara, hey, well, welcome. I bet Olivia Jim is a summoner. Dude, he is a filthy summoner. But you know what's even funnier is that he won't get to play the summoner until May. No, it's okay. Actually, I want to play the summoner too. I don't know if as a main, but I definitely want to try out the class 100%. I am the summoner. Okay. I stand corrected then. I stand corrected. He's not just the summoner. He is the summoner. But I don't know. I was actually very impressed with the mechanics. Only thing I wasn't impressed with was the loot. Because if you're going to kill a level 30, or I would say I wouldn't even just make it just about the world boss. Any world boss, you need to have a big loot table. In my head. Not saying that the loot should only be comprised of weapons. Me personally, I think all these weapons should have like a 5% drop rate. Like that's like a very, very small drop rate. Like I think the bulk of world bosses need to have gatherables, processed goods, recipes, like costume. I wouldn't say costume, but like maybe like a transmoggable piece, and unique gatherables or unique item needed for crafting, right? So if Tumok has like Tumok's tooth, right, and the Tumok's tooth is needed for jewel crafting because you need it to make like some kind of an epic necklace, like stuff like that. So the loot table needs to be like when you kill Tumok, there needs to be like 13 things that drop from Tumok, right? That you distribute out to your processors, to your gatherers, to, you know, different people. And if there is a piece of gear that drops, then you can divide that however way you want. But I don't want world bosses to be like gear and loot pinatas. And I also feel like if you are going to have like any kind of weapon, they need to be unique. Like they need to be unique in the sense of the world boss. Because if it's going to have a 5% drop rate, you just can't have some generic piece of gear attached to it, right? So you need to have some kind of a bow that's like Tumok's, you know, Tumok's bow or something like that, right? Like stuff like that. Let me see, make it 10 to 15%, and then it rolls which one on different rarities. Yeah, I mean, I'm down with that. I mean, all I'm trying to say is that I just don't want world bosses to be all about the gear, right? Gear should come from the crafting side, right? So you need world bosses to drop more you know, specific gatherables, specific process stuff, or unique items. Like that's where I kind of want world bosses to be. And again, you can have a mount drop from Tumok. You can have like unique pieces of gear drop, but those need to have like small percentages, and those be like, oh crap, like a completed piece of gear dropped, right? Like that's the stuff I'm saying. So let's see, where are we at? Less than 10 minutes, guys. And again, just for people in my chat, if you've never watched a live stream with me, I don't talk. I will have my camera on. I'll be very visual. If there's something that happens that's like really poggers or really amazing, you'll see me like freak out. But I won't really give commentary during the live stream unless there's like a huge gap of silence or something like that. Then I might say something. but I will always try to like let Steven and them talk, so that way it's not like I'm interrupting what they're saying as they're talking and stuff. Just so people know, like, if you guys want to watch with me, you're more than welcome to. If not, I totally understand. Like I said, you can go and watch the Ashes of Creation stream. But that's what I do personally. I don't really talk. Use poggers and ironically canceled. My God. I don't know. I'm excited, man. Ashes of Creation went through the ringer recently with all this like drama about the key sales and then updating them and stuff like that. So I really hope the community is like finally past it. I know there was a period last week where like no one was really streaming. Like no one was going live and talking Ashes and stuff like that. I think Sunny did. I think Golden Feather did. I really didn't see any other people. So I think it's just been a little weird, like ever since that whole thing. You see, Ashes should not have been through the ringer. It was on the community. Well, it usually always is with the drama. Like anytime if Ashes says something, like the community is going to respond, whether it's in a negative or positive way. Had to swap to YouTube. Twitch is garbage without Wi-Fi. No, you're good, man. You're totally good. That's why I stream on both. Because again, if I had my preference, I would be watching on YouTube myself. Because I just enjoy YouTube. I have YouTube Premium. I think it's a better viewing experience, but I understand with it when it comes to chat. Chat loves the Twitch chat, which is fine. That's why I have both. The only thing they did wrong was the no beta access. Everything else was expected. Yeah. And again, it's like because you're now applying the outside community, which is the MMORPG community that isn't all in the Ashes know-how or like in the know, I would say. That's where people were very upset because they're like $120 for testing. Like what? Again, people didn't have a problem with the pre-order packs. Like there was never really drama. Like I remember there was drama back in 2020 when again, there was a large influx of people like discovering Ashes. And again, those packs were $500. Like they were super expensive. So I don't know. I don't know what to tell people. All I've been saying is like, if you have a problem with $120, man, you should not go back and look at the pre-order packs. Those were way more expensive than $120. That is for sure. Dude, Will of Darkness, dude, thank you so much for the gifted sub, dude. Thank you. Very much appreciated it. But yeah, I just finally hope that, you know, the community's like chill now. We're good. Like I'm excited at the fact that we're actually going to be getting access to people that, you know, didn't buy the pre-order packs. So the more the merrier. It's basically people being self-entitled to play Steven's game. Oh yeah. It's always that. Like it's what it always is, man. It's like again, we're living a very instant gratification generation, man. Like people feel very entitled to things that, you know, they shouldn't feel entitled to. Like again, people feel entitled to play a game. It's like, bro, you have to test. Like this is what it's all about. Five minutes. Almost there. Oh, Beaver, you bought the key? That's awesome, man. Let me see you 5 months. For 2 years unlocks years of content that will cost $15 a month. Bro, don't even say stream delayed. You scared the shit out of me when you said that. Because I wasn't looking at the stream. I was looking at my chat. Dude, if it goes to 30 minutes, I'm going to be so mad. 30 minutes equals food time. Yeah. I should have ate, honestly. I did not eat lunch. I had to go drop off my daughter. And then I had to come back, and then I had to take a shower. I had no time. Evie, dude, what's going on? Good to see you. Getting hyped? Aren't we all? I mean, I'm really dragons. I remember when I fought Onyxia for the very first time. That was so freaking cool. Killing a dragon in a fantasy MMORPG, that will always be a core memory in my head. I'll remember that when I'm 90 years old. And playing World of Warcraft recently, like we went on a stint of expansions where after Cataclysm, dragons died. Apparently, you're gonna kill dragons off in a fantasy MMORPG. Like, what were you doing? Like, I don't understand what Blizzard was thinking. But they finally brought back dragons now, so I'm very much looking forward to seeing a dragon in Unreal Engine 5. Because going and looking at the Unreal Engine 4 like dragons, they looked good. Don't get me wrong. Like, I liked the models. But bro, like, I think we're really going to be in for a treat with what Firebrand's going to look like under the new aesthetic of Ashes of Creation since the transition to UE5. I remember Onyxia also. I had no idea what to do. I kept dying over and over. Yeah, I was in the same position, man. Same exact position. Let me see. I just want to kill bosses with the bros. This is what it's all about. Absolutely. Honestly, Wagsy, I've been having a shit ton of fun playing WoW with you guys. It's been great. I mean, and that's what I miss. Like, I miss just playing a game with the boys that we're all in accord, just doing shit. Like, that's what I miss. Shh, I ain't going to say that again, Rory. You get it once and that's it. Otherwise, I'll take it back. Blizzard lost so much of the original talent. I doubt they were thinking much. Yeah, 100%. Let me see. I didn't do Onyxia because I thought it would get everyone killed. Well, like I said, I remember, back then, man, like killing a dragon, and then going to Orgrimmar and then seeing the head of Onyxia, like that was just so cool. I was like, oh my god. Let me see. You raiding in WoW while you wait for A2? We probably are. I mean, right now we're basically just doing normals and heroics. I've been leveling like all my tunes. But yeah, I'm just playing with the boys basically, right? Just in playing with people that play WoW, and we're having a good time, because right now there's nothing else to do. Like, I can't play Ashes. Otherwise I'd be testing the shit out of Ashes of Creation, but I can't. So it kind of is what it is, Quick question. What is your opinion on the experience of WoW the War Within on a scale from 1 to 10? As far as my experience, to me, all WoW is to me is a dungeon and a raid simulator. It isn't an MMORPG. It just isn't. If you go and watch the video... Oh, shit. Are we good? Hold on. Sorry. We'll talk later.
Hello, everyone. Welcome. Ooh, probably hearing me twice. That's better. Maybe. I don't know. Hopefully it's good. Okay.
Got an echo?
Sorry about that. It's because I usually... For those of you who are webcasters or streamers, I don't know if you ever have it where you like listen to yourself talk so that you can make sure that the audio levels are good. But I have that set up, and it was coming through to you all. So apologies.
I go purely off the bar.
You go only off the bar?
I know. When I was recording the video yesterday,
I can't trust the bar. But of course, welcome to our glorious Ashes of Creation August development update. It has been a month for us.
Oh my goodness. My goodness. I'm ready for this month to be over.
Same. I'm ready for a little Labor Day weekend. I think our whole entire team has been working very, very hard all this month. And obviously moving forward, I mean, and we have been in the past too, but like we had mentioned before, we've been putting in a lot of extra effort as we move towards Alpha 2. So it has been a lot on all of us. But we are excited. We hope that everyone has had a great month and that you're excited for today's update. As you can see below, we have our agenda. We'll be doing some quick reminders and then getting into Citadel of the Steel Bloom and our Firebrand preview.
And boy, oh boy, was that a lot of fun. We had this, you guys are going to see some gameplay today that I think is some peak Ashes of Creation gameplay with that raid boss, with the event, with the Citadel of Steel Bloom. And we had a blast with 40 of our PI testers helping us take this boss down. I think you guys are going to enjoy this video. I can't wait to get to it. I want to get to it now.
Well, it won't take too long.
Okay.
And then we'll do our studio update and then Q&A. So we'll keep things, it's going to be a little bit, less intense. You don't have to buckle in like our previous ones where they're like 3 hours long. This one will be kind of more along the normal time frame for you all this time. But first and foremost, we do have our YouTube spotlight. So we want, as you know, if you subscribe to our YouTube channel and make sure that you have your subscription public, it's kind of like a weird process. And you leave a comment on our development update live stream video, not the other ones that we put out. You may be selected. And so for this one, in our last Bard live development live stream showcase, they left this comment, and this is Nick Knock Clock. And they want to know, love the Bard class. It does really make me curious about the subclass / archetype system. How much will a subclass affect the mechanic of your abilities versus the visual and audio flavor?
Yeah, it's a bit of a spectrum there, right? Because some of the ideas that we have with regards to augmentation is that they could be kind of very rudimentary mechanics that get adjusted, such as like damage values, cooldowns, mana costs, distance and range, some targeting changes. But they could also be very fundamental changes, which would include visuals and audios and flavor for a particular ability. And we've given some examples in the past about augments. We're not quite at the augment stage yet, right? We're still fleshing out the remainder of the classes, being Rogue and Summoner, that are remaining for Alpha 2. We talked about that earlier when we laid out the roadmap for the A2 testing. And once we get into kind of playing around with these augments, we're going to be taking a lot of feedback from the community. But the idea is that some of these augments will radically and fundamentally change an ability, and that could include all of those things listed.
I know that a lot of people are curious about how they can customize their classes for sure. I think anybody who's
and we even see now, like on the customization front, like people who played, we had a 5-day test that was under NDA over the course of last Friday until Wednesday, where we invited a little over 6,000 Alpha 1 testers into this pre-A2 testing to participate. And a lot of the feedback we've been seeing is that people are really enjoying the level of customization between the weapon skill tree, the archetype skill tree, the itemization that's available. Like there's a lot of different levers that people get to pull. And especially for a PvX game where you're going up against potentially other players, or in our adaptive world setting where the NPC population changes consistently, like that customization really matters because the threat is constantly changing.
And not just in the gameplay, but also in the way that we're handling UI and keybinds and stuff like that. We're going to try to allow you guys to do a lot of the customization that you want. So
absolutely,
no mods here. We're going to try to support as much as we can. I think for us as gamers too, like that's the stuff we want, and it should be built in and properly supported instead of having to be kind of jank and implemented through some other third party.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Our next thing here is just reminding folks that we did announce that we are launching Alpha 2 October 25th. So we would love for you all
A
to
few
join
people's
us.
hearts stopped when you said August.
I know.
Like, wait a minute, what?
I was reading something. I was seeing the word August, and then I was like, wait, October 25th is when we are launching Alpha 2. So we'd love for all of our Alpha 2 users to prepare and get ready. We will be emailing you prior to that whenever we have all the
Absolutely.
information on how to download, how to get access. We'll have some
And
forums and places where you can provide feedback and things. Even though it will not be under NDA, we will be providing you ways that you can communicate with us and to ensure that like we're getting feedback from all places. Whether you are specifically an Alpha 2 user, you can use those places, or if you are kind of publicly watching things, you're also allowed to give us feedback. We'll be taking feedback from all the places. But
yeah, and I just want to mention as well with regards to the A2 bundle sales. We had an AMA where we talked a little bit about obviously Alpha 2, the roadmap and everything. And I watched a lot of the feedback from Kira, from Asmongold, from the community, right? We all did here at the studio. We responded to that. I did make a post on Reddit. There was an FAQ that was released.
Immediately, like within like 24 hours, we were getting in there.
And it's super important to us that we make sure our relationship with our community, with our fans, with the players who are looking forward to Ashes of Creation, understand that what we do is going to be reactive in a way to the feedback that we get from the community. And we got a lot of feedback there, and we did make adjustments. We added some, value proposition to the packs. But more importantly, I think one of the important things to remember is that, while we have a lot of testers for Alpha 2, and while we want more testers for Alpha 2, there are significant costs that go along with standing up Alpha 2 for potentially over a year, for at least a year, that Alpha 2 is going to exist. And those costs are things like server costs, like content delivery networks, live ops, DevOps, right? We could keep it as small as our internal QA teams, our external QA teams, and the existing the existing Alpha 2 testers. But we have a lot of people in the community who wanted to also participate in the testing that didn't know about Ashes of Creation before then. And so if we're going to expand that testing group, we also need to expand all of those services, all of those functions that go about bringing this Alpha 2 to players.
And so that's added something additional.
Yeah, absolutely,
to that,
for sure, 100%.
Kind of like the preface to it, I think a lot of people are like, well, you said that you're fully funding us yourself. And yes, while we are fully funding ourselves, I think that there's also an element of support, right? Every bit helps. While I'm sure Steven doesn't want to spend more money on his own. So like the support does help. It is supporting us in a way. And I think like people wanted to hear us say that vocally. And yes, 100% that is the case. All of our early Kickstarter backers, all of our pre-order pack owners, if you are somebody who's buying a Wave pack, or a Wave bundle, you are also being somebody that is supporting our development along the path. And that is going
I saw a lot of commentary out there, and it hurts my heart a little bit to read some of those things, but it's the internet. It comes with the territory. That's cool. It is what it is. But the reality of it is,
it's hard when you care a lot. And I think that's all of us here, and so it's
I know you come to work and you want to make an awesome game, and sometimes you read the commentary and it's not super cool. But I understand it, right? It's from a particular perspective.
There's actions we can take, right? And I think that for us, whenever you give us feedback or thoughts or commentary, and there are ways for us to engage or interact, or whether it's sometimes it won't be that we are going to do what you're asking. Sometimes we have to just explain like, hey, we're doing this way because of X, Y, and Z. In other cases, it will be like, yeah, that was fantastic feedback. Here's how we're going to adjust things and make things better and move forward, right? But we want to make sure that you guys are aware that we will always have open communication. We will always be taking that feedback and adjusting things as we move forward.
100%.
Yeah.
Let's get into...
I think I just have one more thing.
Okay, one more thing.
The next thing is that we do have a dev discussion up. It is called Storytelling with Archetypes. We would love for you to head on over to there and provide us some feedback. The question that we're looking for is, how would you like to see character archetypes like the Bard be integrated into Ashes of Creation lore and storytelling to enrich the world building? So for all of you little lore junkies out there, which I know there are a lot of you,
so many lore junkies,
let us know how you would like us to integrate archetypes into the story paths or into individual story paths that you think would be fun to play through. I've definitely had some amazing quest lines that I've done in other games before that I will never forget. So we'd love to hear what you guys think on that front. And with that, Stephen, we may move forward.
All right. So are we premiering this on YouTube as well?
We will be, yes.
All right, cool. So as always, guys, I'm going to give you a real quick preface. Everything is still a work in progress. However, I think that for those of you who have been watching our updates over the course of the last several months, you are likely going to see the quality and the polish of the game that has continually been progressing over those courses of months. In my opinion, we had a lot of fun, obviously, recording this yesterday with our testers. I think it looks great. I think it plays great, but we do this for your guys' feedback. So what are we looking for in particular when we talk about today's showcase? We're talking about combat, group combat, raid boss fighting. We're talking about point of interest. We're talking about events. These are all things that we want to get your guys' feedback on. So please, as you're watching this, take into consideration what you're seeing. Provide us that feedback on social media, on our forums, on our Discord, on the YouTube. And if you're going to watch it on YouTube, please stick around on Twitch and provide us the commentary, because our community team does watch the Twitch chat. We do collect the comments that come in and we review that with the team. But otherwise, everything is a work in progress. I hope you guys enjoy the show. It was a lot of fun to record.
And when
we'll see
Steven
you in
asked me a question, I was answering him, but my mic was muted in two different places, and I was trying
wondering
to
where you were.
I was
like, what's
answering
happening?
you, and
I know.
you were like, I was like, oh, he can't hear me. So I wasn't trying to ignore him. But we will see you on the flip side.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another day in Vera, and we have an exciting showcase for you today. We are going to be getting, for the first time ever, a look inside the Citadel of Steel Bloom, one of our glorious points of interest in the Riverlands area. And I am joined by a group of amazing designers and a wild producer. I have joining us today Jindrak, Jeremy, our senior world designer. Jeremy, how you doing, buddy?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing very good. Very excited.
Right.
Very excited to see what you guys on the world team have been cooking up. I know that obviously players have been loving kind of seeing the different points of interest through the world. I know our testers have been, and this is quite an impressive area, the Citadel of Steel Bloom. And I know it has a lot of history to it in the world lore.
Yeah, the Citadel of the Steel Bloom was the home of the Order of the Steel Bloom prior to the Exodus and Apocalypse that happened. So this was the area that for the Steel Bloom to call home. They were a special unit formed by the Aelin Queen, who she believed in the portents and the omens beforehand. So Lore Forge, get your notes out. There's going to be a dump here for you, Cash and Sunny and JB.
Love it. And I know
Yeah,
that we're going to be capping this off at the end here with a little bit of a raid boss showcase as well that Chong and Trad have been working on. With Chong and Trad, more of our design team here. Chong, Trad, how you guys doing?
Good. It was all Chong, by the way.
Chong.
Yeah. Really glad to be here. And I also believe this is probably the first time I appear in the recording.
Yes,
Yeah.
Welcome. Very excited to have you, and excited for everyone to see kind of the hard work that you put into this dragon. I know it's gone through a lot of iterations, and it is feeling pretty good. I'm excited to have the community give an opportunity to give you a little bit of feedback, and see what these raids are all about. Also joining us, of course, we have one of our glorious world level designers, Ben, who's going to be tanking for us today. Ben, how you doing, buddy?
That's me, doing well. Yeah, I'm excited to see what y'all think of the Citadel of Steel Bloom. We'll be seeing a piece of it here, hopefully a little bit more later.
I love it. And playing
Ben
through
was
this.
the level designer on this and did all of the design and layout of it.
Yeah, I was just going to say, playing through this this space is fun, and I think players are going to really enjoy some of the complexities of the interior spaces here. Also joining us, we have Tony, the narrative designer here, responsible for the event that we're going to be going through. Tony, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing great. I'm so excited to get into this place. It's one of my favorite locations.
Yes, it is. Jason, one of our NPC designers, how you doing?
Doing good.
Now these are some crazy NPCs in here. They're kind of beefy boys.
Oh yeah, they hit really hard, and it's gonna be hard to keep you alive.
We have, of course, our master of the bard, Bucky, playing on the bard. How you doing, Bucky?
Good. Ready to showcase the bard's power in a full group environment.
Yes. And of course, a gaggle of designers would be very, very dangerous if not for our glorious senior producer, Gunther. Gunther, how you doing, buddy?
Hey, I'm doing good. Excited to be here. Excited to be a liability.
Gunther, I love your character name, Living Skill Issue.
It's what I am, buddy.
Well, okay. So, Jeremy, you were touching a little bit on this space, but before we even get into the Citadel of Steel Bloom, I notice out here there is this this space that is just ridden with like nastiness. Talk to us a little bit about this area out here.
Okay, so this area is called the Harrower's March. So this was an area, the Harrower was one of the ancients' lead slaughterers. He led a group of marauders through this area during the Exodus and the Apocalypse. So after the events at Carfin, he was directed to this area. And this is where they slaughtered a bunch of the Steel Bloom as the Steel Bloom was trying to protect their citadel and what was locked within. So this is the remnants of that from 1,000 years ago. It still hasn't really recovered, kind of has a pall to it.
Yeah, it's got some nastiness too. I noticed there's like some bones and stuff. I don't think Environment's quite done with this space just yet. I saw some of the concepts and they look a bit gruesome. We talked a little bit in the AMA, or not the AMA, I think it was a last month's stream. Some people were asking if there was an update on the on the rating that's intended for Ashes of Creation, and it will be mature. And part of that you're starting to see get riddled throughout here, not just in the narrative design and dialogue, but also just in the setting, right? Having this kind of more morbid, grotesque-looking spaces.
Yep. And this area was Ben's idea, so if Ben wants to add a little to it.
Yeah, got to keep it grisly. We knew we were going to head for a little bit more of a mature rating, and this is one of the opportunities we've got to bring that full force to bear. So might not be for the faint of heart. Looking forward to seeing what our environment artist can do with it.
I love it. So this space up here right now, I see that on the map there is a event going on here now. Obviously, we've shown in the past, when events can occur, they swap out populations, right? This is all part of our dynamic world. Those events are responding to something that the players are doing or something that's happening in the world. Talk to me a little bit about the event we're going to experience here, Jeremy.
This event, we're kind of taking place quite a few quests into a story arc that is dealing with the people who are residing in the Steel Bloom right now, the Citadel of Steel Bloom right now, which is the Forsaken Blades, which is a military unit off of the Kalar who defected, mutinied, left, and went on their own, and they took over this location. And they've been dealing with cultists to kind of increase their power. If Tony wants to go more into what our current setup is right now, before going in.
Sure. Well, what we're dealing with here is it's always a dangerous place with the Forsaken Blades, basing their out of this impregnable grand fortress. But since the story arc we're in is reaching its tail end, it's created a narrative climate that is going to allow this ragtag band of adventurers such as ourselves an opportunity to complete our quest for some rumored relic called the Orb of Ultimate Essence.
Ooh, that sounds exciting.
We're into a part where the cultists and the Forsaken Blades have made a deal that now the Forsaken Blades have gotten this fire empowerment, so they are now stronger and they're answering to the cultists now, so they gave up some of their freedom and autonomy while working with the cultists for this increased power. So now during the story of the quest, we've gotten word that they're trying to attempt to break into the vault now using some kind of relic, and we're in our quest to prevent that from happening, because we know if they get in, that could be really bad.
I see a lot of these NPCs up ahead are kind of flame ridden a bit. Is that reminiscent of the relic that they have acquired?
Yeah, that's part of the empowerment they got from the relic that they've been manipulating.
Nice, love it. Love it. All right, cool. Well, maybe we should see what we can get up to in here. You wanna who's Usul? You're a tank, right?
It's me.
All right. You look stout and steadfast. Digging it.
Always ready.
All right. Well, I think Bucky, you're gonna be marking for us. And now,
Yes.
guys, these are elite mobs, right? These are 2 stars and a mixture of some 3 stars as well. We talked a little bit about the elite system in the past. This is going to be difficult, so if a few of us die, that's to be expected, but hopefully that's not going to be the case. What do you think, Ben? How are you going to start with this? How are we going to pull?
We're going to do this classic body pull style, so I think we've got somebody marking high threat enemies here. That arsonist, no joke. We're going to try and get him first. I'm going to move up here on the left side.
All right, let's do it. I'm ready. I'm ready. Oh no. Oh, I'm playing healer, by the way. So if you die, it's not my fault.
Got the classic start, pulled the whole encounter.
Yeah, you know. I'll go try and stun this guy.
Alright, Gindrax getting punked a little bit here.
It's the life of the fighter. Take some, deal some.
Looking at. Okay, this isn't too bad.
Watch out for the fire.
Oh yeah, these guys, so what is that
I'm on it.
ability? They have some ability that kind of drops a fire zone. Jason,
Yeah,
That
they have
flame
fire.
elemental.
I see the fire on the ground. It's very subtle. Okay.
We got a ranger in the back. Ranger in the back.
Oh
Kind
my
of
god, I'm
snuck
failing
over.
on my duties already.
Yeah, he came to the back.
Help me.
Hurts. Trying. I'm trying.
We're doing pretty good here. This isn't bad. Not too bad.
Too bad.
I love the interior of this.
Oh yeah, Brandon and the whole environment team did a great job with this.
Brandon was the artist on it and did an amazing job on all that.
There we go. Pull some of these guys.
Oh,
These raiders have got a couple moves that hit hard, so and take them in easily digestible groups.
Very nice.
He's got a lot of health too.
there they go.
They have a pretty strong alpha strike there.
Yeah.
If you
That-
pull too many of
that
these,
overhead's
that'd be a
pretty brutal.
problem. Yeah.
We would never.
When have we ever pulled too many?
So Jeremy, as the different events kind of spawn for this space, there's a lot of different compositions that are possible based off of, you know, what narrative is happening within the different POIs.
So there's a lot of dynamic systems we're using here. So with the 2 stars and the story arc is we have normal pop in here, which would be the Forsaken Blades, which are 1 star. But because of the story arc, we've been able to transform those mobs now into the 2-star flame versions. So we are in a different, using the term phase, but this is a different setup for this Citadel because of the story arc that's occurring right now.
I love this view. This looks amazing. Wow. And so this is like a giant rose kind of in the center of the Citadel.
Mm-hmm.
And the stained glass.
Inspired by
windows.
I have to call out the stained glass. I think I'm contractually obligated to do so.
Oh, it looks so good. It looks
Yeah,
so
That looks
good.
great.
Yeah, Ben had definite inspirations for this.
Nice.
a lot of biomimicry in our own world, but for this, like, maybe some more symmetry than we're used to seeing in a lot of these locations, because why is the Citadel as pristine as it is? Who knows?
Yeah, the Citadel is more intact than a lot of ruins. Why is that? Built to last? You know, the Steel Bloom was the Queen's special unit, so that she, knowing that things were going to get bad, she had a special unit. They were always her bodyguards, but also they did special missions for her. things that the military weren't so aware of. So
So, this event right now, what is it about? What is it that we're trying to kind of accomplish here in this first stage? And obviously, these events occur in stages, as we talked about in the past. But for this particular stage, it looks like it says we're trying to fight our way into the Rosefall Plaza.
So the Rosefall Plaza is before us. In the mission, we've learned leading up to this that this ritual is going to occur, but the only way to stop it is to summon the Lady of the Rose, who was the commander, the last commander of the Order of the Steel Bloom. So we've done things to make it possible that we can summon her spirit to then prevent this ritual from occurring. So we've got to get to her spot where she died in the Exodus and then revive her or recall her spirit to help us.
Okay. I think I might have found that spot.
Yep.
There's like some weird ethereal goo coming out of the ground here.
So the Lady of the Rose is the official title of the leader of the Steel Bloom.
That's cool. How was the Order of the Rose established? What was their charter?
The first Lady of the Rose was a warrior, a strong warrior, and the Queen picked her to form an order for her to act as her bodyguards, but also to do these special missions that she believed of the omens that were coming when other people might have put them off or didn't believe them or doubted them. So the order had been around for 20, 30 years before the Exodus.
Oh my god.
The event's starting.
Oh my god. I think I activated the event.
Oh, they didn't pull though.
So we're
My bad.
we started
the
the
thralls are
summoning,
summoning.
and the thralls are responding to us trying to summon her.
The spicy pull. Here we go.
I did not know that was going to to pull a bunch of bombs. My bad. Hey, we're handling it well though.
Yes.
Give this one to the god tier healing.
Very nice. Look at this.
We gotta keep these guys from not summoning her. We gotta prevent their attack.
Oh, so they're trying to summon her.
They're trying to prevent her from coming. Us summoning her has kind of riled them up, and they're being attracted to the summon to prevent it.
Oh, Ranger and Arsonist in the back.
Oh.
Hey, we're doing pretty good here.
Not doing
Running.
that bad. So as we defeat them, it's
Get that ranger
killing
off
the
you.
objective at the top.
The arsonist, on the other hand, does not want to obey.
Okay. Oh, we've got some more. Where are these guys coming from?
They're gonna keep coming till she comes, or they should shut it down.
So this is kind of like a wave event.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, Usul, you're taking
Oh,
some
Arthas
damage,
on the right.
buddy.
Yeah, the arsonists do a lot of AoE flame damage that is definitely hooking me a little bit.
Okay, I got heals for you. Mana seems to be going okay. Jindrak's taking some damage.
Gotta get out of the fire.
That arsonist over here.
Nice. Bucky, you're doing a great job with that. With the bard, buddy.
Yeah, the shielding dance.
Yeah, that shielding dance is awesome.
All right. She comes.
Did it.
Oh, look! It's the lady herself!
There she goes.
I'm on fire, though.
Fear not. She's here to save us.
Oh, where's she going? What is she doing?
It's going toward where the evil ritual is taking place.
Okay. We're just supposed to be escorting her? What does it say here?
Yep, we got the cultists up here trying to
Stop
do
the
something
essence
with...
ritual.
Okay, she's gonna channel to shut it down.
Oh, she's channeling.
She's gonna attempt to spell break the ritual curse.
Okay. Oh,
we've got an ancient.
What is this
No.
guy? He
He's
who
gonna
beguiles.
He's gonna try to stop her.
Oh, he's
Oh, we got
channeling
ads coming in.
against her.
Oh, you gotta protect her. They're coming to. Gotta protect her while she's.
Arson's coming in
Channel.
the back.
Right on her.
Yeah, keep her healthy.
Yes.
Oh, we can heal her.
Arsonist.
Oh, okay, my harpoon got interrupted.
Don't let her burn.
Okay. Sorry, I'm loot goblining right now. Party seems to be going okay.
Never changes.
So we're defending her while she's channeling. What is this stage? Let's see here. Oh, we're nearly. What is this?
For about a
Got
minute.
new spawns coming in from the sides.
Arsonist coming from the left.
Get him away from her. There we go. Oh, that was a sick combo.
Another one in front. Oh, and another one. Three arsonists now.
They went arsonist heavy.
Here comes the fire damage.
Watch your feet. Don't stand in the fire.
Hot foot.
Okay, it's good. We're keeping that fire kind of over in the corner there. Our
Cleric's manas are looking pretty
manas
good.
are starting to, yeah, mana's doing okay.
Elemental. Ooh, that hit hard.
Yeah, those elementals can get spicy.
Ranger over here. Now I'm standing in the fire.
This is a good fire. Don't worry about it.
Ooh,
Oh, see, the
That's not a good fire, though.
the bard fire confuses
Nice
me.
fire.
trolley bard. Doing pretty good halfway. She's got a little damage on her.
Oh,
Elemental
heal
from
her,
the right.
let me
Heal her up.
Get him away. Good job. Good job, tank.
Leave those flame patches on the ground whenever they do the charge, and I
Yep.
don't want that to get left under.
Another flame elemental from the left.
Ooh, that's a lot of flames.
That is a lot of
I love that
flames.
circle. Just run to it like a moth to the flame.
Usul, you got almost 6,000 hit points. Holy smokes.
Beefed up.
You are beefy.
He's in full defense mode.
Yeah.
Chom's
got the
XP
grits.
just keeps going down and up again.
I have an elemental on me.
I got you.
Oh,
I
crap.
got you.
Thank you.
What happened?
No, we're good.
Oh, I see you there. I got you too. I got you. You're good. Okay.
They're still locked in their channeling
Yep.
combat.
Oh,
Are they still channeling?
The ancient and the lady are.
It's almost
Usul,
over.
Usul, I
in
got
one
you.
battle.
I healed. I'm dipping. I'm diving.
Deep. The lady is getting damaged.
Ooh, there's a lot of fire on the ground. You need to just kind of stay out of these fires.
Burning.
I'm healing her.
Magical
Heal her.
fire. It's burning a ghost.
Okay, alright. It's happening.
Keep her healed.
She's
These
getting,
flame
she's
patches
getting
by these
hurt.
Right in the
stairs, so
back.
watch out.
Oh no, Usul.
Oh,
Oh my god,
A lot of heat.
DGWP.
No.
No, I can heal myself. I have life drain.
Nice.
It's got blood infusion.
I will heal myself. I don't need you. That was good.
I'm just really worried about the crits.
I know, those crits are brutal.
We're nearly there.
How much
that
longer?
overhead.
She needs to hurry up.
It's close.
Got it. We're there.
She's taking her sweet ass time.
Hey.
Oh,
Yes.
we did it. Event succeeded.
Okay, Steven, let's get this egg. Let's get out of here.
Oh, there's an
Turn this
egg?
relic. Yep, grab
Is,
that. Let's
is
get
that the
orb.
relic?
That's the relic they were using.
Objective completed. Later stop the essence ritual.
Oh,
I retrieved it. I did retrieve the orb.
They were using
Let's
with
run
the
outside.
Oh, the orb of ultimate essence.
Get out of here.
A
That's the
dragon
egg.
approaches.
Oh, Firebrand's coming.
Wait, Firebrand? Oh, that's the dragon.
That's the dragon. We've got his egg. We gotta go.
Is he upset about that or something? Or did we just give it to him nicely? Like, is he an
You can try.
intelligent dragon? Can we talk to him?
How about you go talk to him?
Oh god, there he is.
Where? I don't see him. Oh! Oh.
Sit down.
Okay,
I'll try my hardest,
Okay,
but
wait.
I don't think I could tank that by myself.
We definitely need some friends if we're gonna actually defeat this guy. This is a full-fledged raid boss.
Well, Steven, I'd say this is your lucky day.
My God,
Look to the
Shred! Do I need to look to the east on the third day?
I think the 5th, but
Or
close
fifth?
enough.
One of these days.
God, there's an army over there.
Oh, there is an army. We need to go inspect the troops. Who do we have over here? Volunteer testers? What is going on? In perfect formation. Yes.
Yeah.
We will destroy.
What a
coincidence. Might we get a raid invite?
Should we drop group? This group?
Do we have Margaret in here too?
Yeah,
Margaret,
you gotta drop.
are you with us, Margaret? The world's best healer?
Sheesh.
Setting expectations.
Where is Margaret? Margaret, join us. Oh, Margaret.
All right. Well, we shall drop group, right, to get invited to the raid.
Yeah, mine.
I invited you to
Yeah.
raid.
Yes, there she is. Welcome. Margaret has brought us friends.
Many friends.
Oh, so we're supposed to lead. I'm gonna join the raid. All right, I'm waiting for invite. Standing by.
Oh, you guys formed such an
Right.
epic formation here.
Bum, bum,
Yeah.
bum. We
We're
messed it
ready,
up,
we're-
kind of, didn't we?
My client's messed up.
We're like,
very
hi.
organized.
All right, look at that. We've got a full-on raid here. Okay, so we have a raid of 40 people for this guy. I see living skill issue.
Yep. I'm about to invite.
Yeah. And
Nice, very nice.
You have one more person?
Do we have one more?
yeah, my client Claire.
Oh, we're waiting. Okay, we'll wait for you to come back. Okay,
Yeah.
so Chong, Trat, talk to us a little bit about this big boy, because we have seen dragons in the past, but I think you guys have done a little bit of work in kind of authoring the intent at a high level for, these types of world bosses. Talk to us a little bit about that.
Yeah. So players definitely going to fight this boss as the end game boss for A2.
Nice.
The dragon is gonna drop some best gears in the game, so they're way more powerful than the gears we are having right now. So that's pretty excited to get on. So about the boss mechanics. Oh yeah, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, so the gear obviously is gonna be an important part of the A2 testing, and raid bosses are one of the ways that you can get those best in slot gears. Obviously, in addition to crafting, because as we all know, crafters make the best shit. But you can find some of the materials to make that stuff from these bosses as well.
About boss mechanics, I won't spoil specific details because player definitely gonna try to fight it and learn it in A2. But I would say there are two major goals. The first goal is that the dragon would have something that players are expected, but something that players don't expect at all. Because this is a dragon, so this is something we really familiar with. But so it has to have something that you typically see a dragon should do, like some tail swipe, some claw attack, some breath attacks, etc. But on the other hand, from mechanic wise, we can definitely make a good fight with only these kind of concepts, but it will always be kind of a little bit disappointing and feel too generic if all the dragon is doing is within your expectation. So the dragon definitely have some more special mechanics that you don't typically see in other dragon fight, and players need to just learn and do counterplay to them.
Love it.
Yeah.
And this guy is he is going to be level what, 25? Is it for A2?
Yeah, I think so.
Very
25.
nice. Very cool. Well, we have Jindrak is back.
Yeah.
Let's get him in raid, and then I think do we have a tank for this guy? I think Brian, you're going to be tanking this dude.
Yep.
Welcome,
I
Brian.
heretofore passed the mantle.
The mantle has thus been passed
Well done, Ben.
from one dwarf to another. Why are both of our tanks dwarves?
Naturally
Because they
sturdy.
make the best tanks.
And only our tanks.
Brian, how do you want to do this? How do you want to engage this dude? Should we move over to the entrance here with the raid?
Yeah.
All right, let's do this. Let's Leroy this guy. Now, Brian, have you had a lot of practice with this dude?
A little bit. We've been doing some testing on him. So yeah, we're gonna keep him in the middle of the field. Gotta keep him away from the walls and rocks and stuff. He's gonna be placing down. I don't want to spoil stuff, actually.
Oh yeah, that's a good call. That's a good call. Just basically general awareness that there might be some fire in or around the dragon, and when that fire is shown, try to avoid it. Oh, did you see his little tongue? He kind of stuck it out.
And remember, don't stand in the fire.
Yeah. Oh, okay. He's getting a little frisky over here. Eating some
KP
grass.
minus.
Oh, he's an herbivore. Should we kill an herbivore?
Herbivore with teeth like that? Yeah.
Or did he find one of the skeletons and wanted to pick his teeth? Now,
Firebrand is a young adult red who's looking to make a name for himself among the dragons. So we got to be careful on this guy.
Now so young adult red, that's a good point, because dragons in Ashes of Creation, there are different types and there are different age groups. And this is one of the ways in Alpha 2 that you can spawn this dude. There are other ways that he can be spawned as well. And so it's all about the dynamic world and how things play out from player actions. Brian, by all means, sir, whenever you wish, you may engage.
All right, here we go. Let's do this.
Let's do this. Oh my gosh, look at this dude.
Oh.
He's huge.
He is huge.
Oh.
Yeah. So healers, you can cleanse the
bombs.
burn if you see somebody
Get the
has
bomb.
burn.
Spread out. Spread out. Boom. Oh, he's right on top of his buddy.
I'm gonna move him out of it.
Yep. Come back.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, watch out the breath.
Watch out, watch out. Coming back.
That breath attack is
again.
awesome. Oh my god. That looks so good.
We
Chance
lost the
did
cleric.
such a good job. Oh, let me raise him up. Let me raise you up.
Clark.
I'm bringing you up, Pocket. I got you. Oh man.
No wall. Let's get the walls down.
Oh,
Oh,
Yeah,
get back,
no.
get back.
No.
No
No.
wall.
big BBAOE.
Oh,
Ow.
That's not good.
I got you, Pocket. Come back. Oh god.
Yeah, so for its breath attack, it's gonna try to target a good pro player, so everybody should be patient about that.
I got you,
Be
Telu.
careful about.
I love the anims and the sound. Andrew did such a great job on this guy's sound.
And Meadow did the
Oh,
anim.
Andrew was working very hard on it. He did amazingly.
And Meadow did a great job on the anims. She is a very talented animator. It looks so good.
And Clark on the VFX.
Yes.
Really great job. It's the full package.
Takes a team to make a dragon.
Takes a team to kill it too.
Yeah.
Look at that tail swipe. God, I love the cleric's instant heal ability. When I see a health just drop to nothing and I spam that, it's so good.
We have 3 down.
Oh, we're burning.
Oh no. Oh my gosh. We have 3 down. Bergen, I'm on my way, buddy. I'm on my way, Bergen. I don't know where you are.
Breath.
Oh.
Whoa. My mana stance. I gotta switch to mana stance.
Where is Bergen? Coming, Bergen.
I'm back again. It's coming back.
I'm rezzing you, Bergen. Oh my gosh.
Oh. We lost 2 more.
Oh.
Brutal.
He's gonna go again.
I think I might accidentally be, Here we go. I got you, buddy. Daedalus, I'm trying to find you. Okay, you're up. Unknown, I got you, buddy. Got some heals on you. How we doing on this
back
guy?
up. Back
Careful the rings!
Ooh. Didn't make it in time.
You gotta time it. I'm just nearing half.
Some of you guys will notice that I may not be taking damage. That's just so that I can keep giving you good recordings. Okay?
Not cheating.
No, no, no.
In the spirit of the show.
That's right.
Alright, bro.
Oh!
I like how he does it a different direction. Like,
Yeah,
seems like it's random, right?
it's gonna be
You'll
left.
never know.
Yeah.
No, it's not random. It will try to breath through the most players.
Nice.
Smart.
He's down to half.
Clever dragon.
Remember, this was something that we talked about with the adaptive AI being able to kind of respond to large quantities of players. If you try to mass this guy down, he's going to be selecting AoEs in the direction of those hordes. I also love the fire embers that he kind of leaves on the ground when he does that jump.
Try to get him to the middle.
Yeah.
Clover, I'm on my way, buddy.
Oh, he's doing it again. Wrong way, dude.
Coming up.
Alright, he's on Brian.
Good job, clerics.
Ooh, living skill, I got you, buddy.
I love seeing Bucky just slide in, giving damage shields. Oh,
we're getting cooked. Oh,
I slid my last slide.
Oh
man.
no, Bucky. And alluring. Wow, a few people went down with that one. Alluring, I got you. You're coming up.
Now that's a dragon-sized trap on the ground. Yep.
I got you on heals. Luperza, I'm gonna res you. Where are you, Luperza?
He got 3 of us
Yeah,
with this one.
we need to do the minute thing again.
It's alright. Let him
I didn't go
get
down.
some stacks on.
threw myself
Oh,
down.
he's bringing down. He's bringing down ads. All right, we got to kill the ads. Kill the ads.
Breath.
Oh, he just strafed a bunch of people.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, watch the dragon even as you're killing ads.
Yeah. It's
Eyes
gonna
up,
do
eyes
breath.
up. Comes.
Trying to get some reds out.
Here he goes. There he goes.
Pocket, I'm raising you up.
There's so
Luperza, you're
many.
next. Oh, you're up, Luperza. Here you go, Pocket. No elf, you're coming up.
Oh no.
He's absorbing.
Get him down, get him down. Dang it. He got 11 stacks.
Oh no. 11 stacks. He's increasing damage output. He's enraged.
It's a soft enrage mechanic.
Oh man. No, don't let him jump on you. Don't let him
Let the
jump on
breath.
you.
Let the
Oh.
breath. Ooh.
I'm just trying to grit. I'm getting great cinematic angles of this guy.
Nice. Get the shot.
If you die, you died for the shot.
He'll get it for you of you in 4K. Your death.
Dank leaps. I'm getting you up, buddy. Oh my gosh! Oh my god, Lex, I got you!
Oh,
I got you, Dread F.
Get me, Steven, behind you.
I don't know where you are.
There's okay. I'm getting it from somebody.
Okay.
Oh, my Dasha coming through
Thank you
again.
now.
Oh my gosh, he's gonna
Living
jump, he's
bronze.
gonna jump.
Watch out.
There he goes. Boom! This guy looks so good.
The pounces on me.
Scorpion down.
Trying to get people back in the fight.
I got you, Bucky.
Elf again.
He's so close. He's at 100,000. We're almost there. We need to focus him down.
Watch
Oh god!
Oh, no.
Usul, I saw that.
I just ate it.
Here you go, buddy.
My God.
Oh, he's once more. Watch out.
We gotta focus him. We gotta focus him. Max DPS.
He's got those stacks on him. Hurts a lot more.
Sky Mason, you're coming up. Oh,
Run.
you're- get out of there, get out of there.
Lost a couple more.
Labyrinth.
Ooh. Ooh. Oh.
Gosh.
Skeleton crew. We can do it.
He's at 60,000. Come on. Dread, I'm getting you up, buddy.
Thank you.
Oh my god, we just lost 5 more people.
We got him.
I
So
believe.
close.
You're up, Dread.
Oh no, living bomb.
Here's some love, unknown.
Oh,
Oh, whoa. Look at some
30K.
30K. Ow.
he's so close. He's so
He's
close.
raging. Get him.
let me see those lethal blows, fighters.
He's so close.
Yeah.
Yes!
Oh, man.
Oh!
I think I shot him last.
We did it.
All right, Tony gets the loot.
We did it.
Having a heart attack over here.
Cleric life, you know.
Oh, what do we got here? Okay.
Oh, fat loot.
Ooh, red dragon scale shield.
Need.
Ember blade. Cinder Singer.
need.
And a corrupted plate
Got some-
breastplate. Very
Some
nice.
pretty good rolls.
Very nice.
Need.
I greeted everything. Very cool. Well done, everybody. We did it. We defeated him.
Kill screenshot.
Oh yeah, we should definitely get a screenshot. Let's line up. Let's line up and get a screenshot next to the body.
Roll
next,
first.
right next to the mouth.
You were there.
Let me adjust my
Wait,
options.
Whoever gets the loot has to show it off.
I can't find Cat. Where's Cat? Or Resin?
Buried under the body somewhere.
There we go.
Everyone /flex.
Oh yeah, /flex.
I gotcha, I gotcha.
Yeah, very nice. Well done. Very cool. Great job, Chung. That was a very fun fight. Really great job with that dragon, and Jeremy and Ben and everybody else who brought to life the Citadel of Steel Bloom. It looks beautiful, and this was a really fun raid fight. As you guys saw, we have our live testers helping us out. I want to give a big shout out to the PI team and all of our pre-Alpha 2 testers, the Alpha 1 testers who are being invited. We've sent out about 6,000 invites so far to our Alpha 1 users. We're going to be sending out more in the coming couple of weeks. So if you guys were part of Alpha 1, make sure you're keeping an eye out for that. Big props to our network teams, to our DevOps teams, to our ICS teams as this testing continues towards Alpha 2. We have announced that Alpha 2 is going to be starting in October. For those of you who have Alpha 2 access, keep up to date with our announcements. And everybody who's part of this today, thank you very much for showing up. And those of you out there in the community, we do this so that we can get your feedback. We can get your thoughts on what you saw today, both from the raid mechanics perspective, what you expect out of a world boss, how you want to see different types of abilities and mechanics within the world boss, the setting, and also points of interest like the Citadel of Steel Bloom, the lore, the story, the events that live behind that. Your guys' feedback definitely means the world to us. This is why we do these demonstrations, why we have a transparent development process, so that we make sure we're going in the direction that is answering the call of our community for the next great MMO that's going to be Ashes of Creation. Thank you all for joining us today, and we will see you guys back on stream.
Holy shit.
Hello, we have returned. We will keep the video playing in the background as we chat, as per usual, so you can have something visual to look at. But it seems like most of you all really enjoyed that. And just so everyone here is aware publicly, we did lift the verbal NDA for those who were joining us from the Phoenix Initiative.
That's right.
So they are allowed to talk about their experience from the Firebrand raid if they would like to. But we do have some questions that you guys had asked. A few of them are questions that we've answered before, but we'll answer again because it seems like we have got a lot of new folks who have popped in. But for some new ones, the first one is it intentional that in Target of Target, the dragon health ticks down in the opposite direction of regular health bars?
No, that's probably a bug. Of course, so still Alpha 2, so working towards Alpha 2, there's going to be some bugs. But yeah, UI is going to be one of the systems that is very much still a work in progress.
Yeah, and we definitely have some issues with health bars that we're trying to resolve. So there's a whole bunch of stuff that we're working towards on that front. And if you have been paying attention, you may have seen some of the class changes that we've done with some of the ways that we've been changing UI and things like that, if you're really paying close attention. The next question here is, please elaborate on battle res. Can you res in combat? Is it mana intensive? Is there a big cooldown? Because
Yeah.
Steven, you were resing people left and right, and they were like,
I was
"Is this
resing people
unlimited?"
left and absolutely yes. So obviously from a balance perspective, Alpha 2 is very much intended to provide us balance feedback, right? We're not quite at that stage yet. However, the intention behind battle resing, right? What is a battle res? A battle res is essentially, a long cast ability, long channeled ability that incurs a lot of risk for the healer. But also, when you return a player to the battlefield, they're coming back with very limited health and very limited mana. It's a high mana cost action for the healer as well. And then they have to follow that up by healing the target in addition. And they're not being pulled from the location they died at. They're rezzing on the spot. So positioning really matters. The timing of when they get resurrected really matters. If you're in the middle of a very intense fight, it's unlikely you're going to have the ability to kind of spend that time to res that player. But we do want that to be an option because it adds an element of strategy to the gameplay.
All right. And then to move on to some questions that we have answered before a little bit here, but will World Boss health scale for the amount of players that are fighting it?
The health will not scale. However, something that we did touch on during the showcase here with this particular raid boss and with other AI systems that we have is that, and we've talked about in the past, as you add more players to an open world encounter, there are going to be certain behaviors and or actions that might now be higher in frequency as a result of those additional players coming in. And some of those systems might be different AoE abilities or behaviors that the AI has available to it. Now, not all of those systems are online and fully functional as we intend them to be, but they are to some degree. And with the Dragon Breath that you saw here, it tries to target the largest concentration or density of players within the direction that Chong authored. So that is something that we are building into the encounter design.
All right. The next one is, since bosses like these are open world, how will we address people that bring way more players than the boss is intended for?
Yeah, I mean, to a degree, the last question kind of answers that, right? This is going to be adaptive AI behaviors that are going to have a higher level of frequency. That's going to make it very difficult to kind of zerg down certain content. That is the intent behind that system, is to kind of be an anti-zerg mechanism. In certain encounters where we want to keep the numbers at a very specific value, we will utilize instancing. We've talked in the past about 80% of the world content being open world and about 20% of it being instancing. That value still seems like it's going to be true. However, instanced content is something that we're not going to get into probably until phase 3 of Alpha 2.
Okay. And then the last one here is the boss dropping full items placeholder? They would expect recipes and mats and things like that instead of just like, here's an item that you get.
For sure. Yeah, the reward tables are very much in a functional state right now, so I wouldn't look at these reward tables and say, oh, this is long-term intended. This is for A2 purposes. However, it is going to be a combination of both. You're going to have full loot drops that are going to occur with world bosses. That is an expectation that should be kept. But in addition, you will have recipes, you will have material components, unique material components that are used to create those items as well. And you'll also have the ability to deconstruct those items to recoup some of those more unique materials to potentially create more also.
All right. Thank you, Vacner and Roshan, for popping those questions in the channel. I know that we have an office, or not an office hours, a live stream party that people are joining in on Discord, hanging out, as well as all of the chats on Discord and Twitch and YouTube. So thank you all for joining us and watching in all the places. We do have a feedback thread up if you are interested in giving us feedback on the Citadel of the Steel Bloom or the Firebrand preview that you just saw. We would love to hear that. Stephen talked a little bit earlier on like what kind of feedback he's looking for, but I don't know if you want to touch on that again, Stephen, before we head on to the next segment.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, your guys' feedback, I was watching the chat while we were showing this. I thought a lot of that feedback is great, is very actionable. Feel free to jump on the forums and on Discord or on the YouTube video as it's up and leave kind of your thoughts around the encounter design for the dragon, the event design, and just combat in general.
All right. Next up, let's chat a little bit about studio, how the studio is going, what things we got going on, how we're moving towards Alpha 2. I think like that's going to be the big thing that people are curious about if you want to touch base on that.
Yeah, we are definitely in the thick of it. That's for sure. The team has been working very, very hard. We had a lot of testers over the course of the last 5 or 6 days or so. And you know, we are, I think, answering the call that is necessary during this testing time. A lot of reactive measures taking place, a lot of changes to some of our processes to be more forward looking and less reactive in those situations as well. The team is doing a phenomenal job, and the testers are giving us very good feedback and a lot of bugs that we're engaging with on Discord. I know that there is also a lot of write-ups and reports that are being done on the forums with regards to the test from this experience. So, you know, this just goes to serve, you know, the purpose behind why it's important, at least from our philosophy, to engage with not just our internal and external QA teams, but our actual players as part of, you know, the ramp up towards Alpha 2.
Yeah, we're not only just doing that, we're doing focus groups that we're going to be posting more about for those NDA groups. But yeah, we're definitely doing our best to gather as much feedback, make a lot of adjustments. Even throughout those tests, we're making hot fixes here and there. So we're definitely trying to wrap that up and also get our live operations in a place that makes sense for as we expand towards Alpha 2. So it is a lot of amazing things. And also we have a lot of roles that we are trying to fill. So if you know somebody, head on over to intrepidstudios.com/careers and send them our way. We have a lot of positions that have been a little bit more harder to fill, like the anti-cheat role and some of the other ones, especially those engineer ones. They're very specific, and so sometimes it can be hard to find people who are like very specific for those roles. So we'd love some help amplifying that if you can, and we try our best to post those in all the spaces as well. There's been a lot of layoffs, and we just want to make sure that we can maybe scoop some of those folks up and give them a new home here with the Intrepid family. And I think that's the most of the gist on that front, unless you have anything else you want to add.
No.
The teams are kicking butt. We want to give them a lot of love, and I think they deserve the Labor Day weekend. So,
oh yes, that's right. We do have Labor Day coming up.
All right, let's just move on over to the Q&A. Again, I will play the video so you have something cool to watch whilst we are answering questions. We've gathered these from the forums. The first question is from Neurotoxin in regards to, actually, I have the wrong one linked here, I think. This is not the right one. Let me grab it. It's okay.
That's kind of sad.
And by the way, just to expand a little bit, we did have, you know, nearly 40 of our PI testers, our Phoenix Initiative testers in. Margaret and I chatted while the video was playing. We will release the verbal NDA on that experience. So, you know, anybody out there from a Phoenix Initiative who participated in this test, you want to talk about the experience and the raid, you are more than welcome to chat about that. And I know that we saw some content creators doing interviews about that last time we released the NDA on the playtest experience. I think it's a super cool thing to see, you know, not just obviously commentary from the development team about these experiences, but also from the players themselves, right? I think it's a super cool thing.
So our first question here is from Ruby, and they want to know about Alpha 2 weapons. The staff can be seen in game, but was missing from the A2 roadmap along with some other weapons. Could you tell us which Alpha 2 phase, if any, the staff and some of the other weapons are planned for testing?
Yeah, the other weapons and the staff are going to come online at some point throughout phase 3 of Alpha 2, right? So, you know, phase 3 has a lot of kind of legacy feature development and content development that's still kind of outstanding. That's where you're going to see a lot of the bulk of that exist. There is some work done on the staff already and many of the other weapons, at least from an animation standpoint. A lot of the stuff that we're waiting on with these weapons has to do with the weapon skill trees, right? And making the identity, the space in which these weapons exist, unique for those weapons, so that they have not only the strategic element of customization options, but also feel the gameplay aspect, the fun of it, and that takes some time to author, right? Brian Ferguson does a phenomenal job with a lot of the weapon work, and it takes some time for us to get that development upstanding. And we're also looking forward to kind of iterating on the existing weapon work that's been done as part of phase 1 and phase 2 testing, so that we can come back and make sure that the direction for the future weapons we're authoring these weapon skill trees for align with the iteration and feedback we've collected during phase 1 and 2.
And on the animation front, we are not like other games because you can have pretty much anyone can use any weapon.
Right.
So it is a lot more animations for every single race that we have.
Right.
And so that is one of the reasons why people keep asking, like, why don't you have all the races? It is because
Right.
you've seen them, right? You keep seeing them in updates and stuff like that. And we do have
Correct.
them, but they're just not all there for you.
They're
And
not
we
fully
want,
functional.
yeah, we want to make
Yeah.
sure that they're in a state where like you're not going to get into weird situations.
And remember, like
Yeah.
when you think about the 3 phases of development, from functional to testable to playable, right? Usually you would expect that players really only get their hands on things that are playable, right? That's when they're polished, that's when they're completely bug fixed. What we've done from a development standpoint with regards to testing is we're allowing players to come in at a testable phase. However, a lot of these weapons are still very functional. That means you have the meshes done, you have the art side of it done, you have the animations completed, but they're not timed exactly right based off of the design customization layers that are required, right? All of those different spokes and levers that can connect across because of that, the kind of full suite of comprehensive customization, how these weapons connect with archetype and skills and abilities and passives and different armor sets, like that creates the functional stage is very comprehensive before we can move into actually testing it. And so we got to get all that stuff down.
It's a lot of pieces, a lot of moving pieces, but of course we
Yeah, and
always try to share that with you guys. We try to let you have an understanding of why and how and where it's coming along.
And it's very different than what you would come to expect with like typical weapon development, because we have so many customized layers, right? Like typically you can keep the design, path relatively rigid and straightforward, for, less customized game options. And that's cool, but we're trying to do something a little bit different, so it's a bit more intensive.
Yeah, especially whenever we add the VFX changes and things like that. Like come with
Right.
it, it gets a little nuts. But it also looks amazing, as you've probably seen with when we've shown off the wand, or I think it was the wand and some of the other pieces. So the next question here is from Garen, and they want to know about gathering and bosses. Would bosses like Firebrand provide exclusive mats to players with certain gathering professions, such as hunting?
There likely wouldn't be exclusive mats. And I'm not sure that there is currently a plan for world boss design to interact with the hunting profession. But I will double check on that one. I believe it's just delegated to specific hunted prey, which even is going to be divorced from the standard, NPC mob population.
It'll
I
be a
think for the purposes of
select group.
I think for the
Yeah.
purposes of A2, we are going to dual purpose some NPC monster populations to serve as placeholder hunting targets, but ultimately long-term goal is that these would be unique NPCs within the world that you would track down and hunt in order to collect the materials and resources for.
Okay. And then Hijram wants to know about monster coins, a different type of monster thing. Can you explain what progression will look like and what the benefits or reasons are of leveling monsters?
For monster coins?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so leveling your experience with the monster coin, the intent behind that design is that, the more often you play that monster, the more often you play that monster, you will gain access to additional abilities, right? And this is to kind of ease players into the gameplay of specific types of monsters. So the intent for the design there is, like, your first few times playing with the monster, you're going to have access to a unique subset of abilities that are pretty straightforward. And then as you gain that experience, that's another progression loop that you can pursue, and you will unlock more intricate and complicated abilities for that particular monster.
Okay. And then Worth wants to know about node relations. There seems to be many ways nodes can hurt each other through PvP means. Are there ways to hurt rival nodes without a direct PvP system or component? Example might be trading off resources to debuff a node or inciting NPC riots in an enemy
Absolutely.
node. And I think we've talked
Yeah.
about some things like this before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've talked about this in the past. There are absolutely there are less straightforward ways to affect a node than PvP. Some of those ways can be through commissions that might help to degrade the reputation between nodes that have alliances or trade partnerships with each other. Some means might be through land management system where you can sap the resources of the surrounding area for the node, kind of driving population away from that. It might be through policy choices that certain nodes can take, which help to isolate some of the actions that your neighboring nodes can take. It can be through vassalship. I mean, there's a lot of different systems that are kind of secondary and not necessarily PvP centric that we intend to provide nodes the ability to interact with.
Right. And then we have Vale Mistwarden, which I love the name. Wants to know about guild
Oh,
castles.
Vale?
You had mentioned in the past that player-held castles could be attacked monthly. Does this mean that if a castle is not attacked monthly by players, the NPCs which originally held the castle would attempt to retake their castle from these players?
Yeah, we've talked about this a little bit in the past, how we want to handle kind of off-cycle sieges, whether or not we want NPCs to attack the castle. The jury's still out on that from a design perspective. The original intent was that if you didn't have any attackers scheduled for the castle siege, that the castle would enter into an NPC siege. But that might not be the case in the future. That's still something that we're actively discussing.
All right. And then Milgy wants to know about shipbuilding. I know there's a lot of people who are really into the naval stuff. Since we are getting ships in Alpha 2, can we know more about the ship crafting process? For example, will we require carpentry to make the helms and the mast, tailoring for sails, or maybe arcane engineering for cannons and other weaponry?
Yeah, there's definitely going to be interfacing with a number of different artisanship professions in order to create all of the components necessary. One, to completely craft a ship, but also to equip the ship in its equipment slots. We will have more details on that as we grow closer to the naval systems coming online and being testable for A2. Right now, there is still some design discussion around where certain components are going to live, but things like arcane engineering, things like carpentry absolutely are going to be sources of those.
And then the next one is from Lululu, which is a funny name. I like saying it. Boss
Another one from
encounters
chat.
is the topic here. In a multi boss encounter, how is player performance tracking impacted when that encounter becomes a PvX one?
How is player performance being tracked?
How is player performance tracking impacted when when a multi-boss encounter becomes a PvX one? So let's say you're fighting a bunch of creatures. Now all of a sudden, like this whole other guild comes in and they start PvPing you and try to steal those bosses. How are we handling performance impact of that?
Well, from a performance standpoint, if we're talking about like rendering performance, client performance, I mean, there's a lot. I don't fully understand the question, but if we're talking about client performance,
Honestly, I don't
there's
understand the
a
question.
number of different systems that our graphical engineers are standing up with regards to ability visual effects culling that aren't in game quite yet, the significance management, what you're rendering, why and where you're looking, relevancy and distance for those renders, how we're setting up LODs, how we're adjusting and max render count on actors within certain distance that players can even tune as they wish, incorporating also unified player appearances that players can turn on if they want to adjust performance. I mean, there's a number of different approaches that the graphical engineering team is going to utilize in order to increase the
I'm going to change
client
it a
rendering
little
performance.
bit because I think that some other folks in here are giving me a good implication of what this person might be actually mean, because
Okay.
it might be a language barrier thing. They might mean performance as in who gets the kills on those creatures and gets the
Oh, I
loot.
see. I see.
Yeah.
How we're tracking. Okay, I
Yeah,
understand.
that might make that
Um,
kind of makes more sense. So let's
yeah.
also
So
answer that side just in case it's that.
sure. How do we track player damage contribution essentially in arriving at permission states for loot containers, or excuse me, loot corpses after the death? So we have a combination of a tag system that grants some bonus percentage to the first tag, and then we cumulatively value the damage done on a raid party basis. And then whichever party exceeds the 50% as a result of that has the loot rights for a period of time. And then after that period of time expires, it becomes public loot.
All right. I feel like that both of those answers gives an answer to whichever definition it could be. But thank you, chat. I think like that you guys might be right that that's what they intended, because it is kind of worded a little confusingly.
Yeah. So just to give an example, by the way, you know, this is a complex question, right? Because if you're talking about looting rights, there's a number of different ways that you can do it, right? Some games have it on last hit. That favors nukers, right? That favors burst damage heroes, like who can finish the last chunk, and we don't want to do that. Some games do on tagging, like who's the first to hit the mob, and that can favor certain classes or build types that are like rapid ability attacks, that they can just either AoE a selection of or range a selection of. Exactly. And so what we wanted to do is a combination of damage done overall, right, over 50%, but also grant a slight benefit, like a 10% boost to that cumulative value to the first tag as well. So, you know, we feel that that is kind of the most fair way to spread the love around different class types and, you know, weapon selection and customization kit options. But at the same time, this is a very important point of feedback, right? This is why we're testing these things. So, you know, players who can play in Alpha 2, they come back and they give us their thoughts.
Yeah. So definitely keep that in mind as we're testing things. We'll be changing things along the way, trying different things. We may put some different types of systems in place in different times just to test things, and we'll make sure our folks are aware. Our next question here, which is our penultimate question, is from Skylark the Botanist. And they want to know about animal husbandry. You mentioned previously that animal breeding will follow genetic inheritance. Can you elaborate on how many genetic traits pets, mounts, livestock, and beast of burden may have? And I don't think we're going to list everything out here, but maybe you could talk a little bit about it.
No, you know, obviously, the traits that we intend to do for animal husbandry are going to relate to some stat on the animal stat block, right? So, you know, and then they're also going to interface with ability selection as well. So you have the option of active abilities, passive benefits, and waterfall stats and stat trees. All of those things are going to be tied in some way, shape, or form to unique genetic traits that then we will have the system over time take into account. It's relatively complex. Dr. Bucky helped to kind of author the GDD around our animal husbandry system, of which there is still a lot pending to be developed there. But the intent is to provide a very in-depth system that values the open market economy, where, you know, you literally have horse trading, not always horses, could be more unique mythological creatures, but the concept of this horse trading where, you know, you are utilizing different genetic traits across these different items in order to result in some randomized reward table that comes as a result of those trait mixtures.
All right. And the finale question coming from Shabue. It's a good last one. Testing sieges. During phase 2 testing, you are hoping to test vassling. Would you be open to test the game implications of vassals sieging their parent node?
I don't think that that's something we necessarily
because you're a vassal
need
of that
to
node,
test.
right?
Yeah, we don't need to test that at this stage. I think what in testing the vassaling system, what we are getting feedback on is what is the relationship between the parent node and the vassal node and the benefits that they provide the citizens of each, right? And how is that looked upon by the player base through this testing? Is it being looked at as a negative relationship? And if so, then probably we need to talk about the intent. What is the intent? The intent is that it should be reflected upon positively. So then how do we start tuning, the knobs and levers in order to make that relationship feel better for the players?
We want your citizens to have their happiness levels at max.
Exactly. So that's where we would start, right? Is if we get negative feedback from that relationship of the parent to vassal node, then we would start by, tuning the levers and the knobs around how to increase the benefit for, that reciprocal relationship between those two before we thought about, oh, okay, well, players don't seem to like being, vassals of a parent node. Let's just let them kill the parent node, because that has much wider architectural design, concerns, and we wouldn't go to that step unless we just, come to some determination that, like, no matter what knob and lever we turn, players just don't like being a vassal. Okay, then let's talk about how players can stop being a citizen of one node and go become the citizen of another node if it's just not their cup of tea to be a vassal citizen, regardless of the benefits that we offer. So that hopefully gives you some insight in how we kind of approach tuning and, thoughts from the player base, right?
All right. And that is our questions from the forums. And of course, if you're not aware, I think there's a lot of new faces in the audience. We do gather questions a week in advance for every live stream, unless we don't have a Q&A for some live stream for some reason, because we do different things for different live streams. And especially the live streams coming up after this are going to be quite different than what you've experienced before. There's going to be a lot more player engagement involved in it, and I think it's going to be a lot of community-oriented stuff. So I think you're going to have a lot of fun seeing some more additional gameplay that involves a lot of players. But we do want you to know that we pull questions live during after segments wherever it is pertinent, and then we also these ones are we randomly choose them from the forums as well. So, and then we also do a spotlight. So if you're new here, we kind of gather stuff from all of the places and do our best to pull questions from everywhere that we can. But of course, as we're wrapping up today, reminder that we did announce Alpha 2 is coming October 25th. So if you are an Alpha 2 key holder, you are going to be joining us on October 25th. We will be providing you more information for that via email. So make sure that you don't have us in your spam inbox so that you get messages from us. We'll be providing more information on how to access the product there, and then also more information on where you can give us feedback and what's going to be happening going through that. Our next live stream will be going over a lot of content that you'll be seeing in Alpha 2, so that should be exciting, kind of a guide to what you're going to be experiencing soon. And then, of course, we do have our wave bundles up. We did have a lot of people asking how they could attain Alpha 2 who have not joined us yet or learning about the products like later down the line. And so now there are ways for you to join us. We heard a lot of feedback. We've changed a lot of it. So please definitely read the FAQ to ensure that it answers all of your questions. And if you have any additional questions for us, head on over to our Discord. We have a questions channel. The community is great about answering stuff. And we also have, community managers on staff who are lovely and will answer questions if they're not in our FAQ. And I think that is kind of the main things. We do have a feedback thread up already about the Citadel of the Steel Bloom and the Firebrand preview. So if you have any thoughts on what you saw today, definitely give us feedback. A big, huge thank you to our wonderful developers, Jeremy, Chang, Tony, Ben, Bucky, and Jason and Gunther, who joined us during the live stream, and of course, Stephen, for your time. Stephen's time is very valuable. I look at his schedule sometimes and I'm like, you have 4 meetings in this one time slot. How did that happen?
That's every time slot. That's every time slot.
You need
I don't
an
know how that
assistant
happens.
to make
I
that not
know.
happen.
I know.
Um,
After A2 launches, I will
Steven's
definitely
really
work
picky.
on
He
that.
has interviewed a lot of assistants.
I thought he had an
I
assistant.
know.
If you think that you could be his assistant, apply. I'm just kidding. We hope that you all have a wonderful month. Have a wonderful Labor Day weekend. I know our team is definitely going to be resting
If I
up.
lived in
coming
San
back
Diego,
on
I would.
Tuesday and kicking some major butt. We have quite a bit still more to do till we hit the October 25th date. The video will be over on YouTube already. I think you can go check that out if you want to watch the preview part. The full development update will be up tomorrow morning, pending YouTube and Twitch cooperate with us. And of course, remember, if you would like to be spotlighted, to subscribe to us over on YouTube. Make sure your subscription is live, because sometimes it doesn't show it, and then it doesn't show us that you're subscribed. It's really weird. And then also leave a comment, and you could be potentially selected for next month's spotlight. And of course, follow us in all the places. We are Ashes of Creation everywhere. We try to post things, almost daily. So you can always keep up with what we're doing and what awesome things are going on, and share your feedback and thoughts with us. And I think that's all I got. Anything else you want to share, Steven?
No, loved it. It was a lot of fun. I see a lot of people enjoyed it. Can't wait to show more.
All right. See y'all next month. Bye.
Bye, everyone.
All right. The raid boss was... Okay. For an open world raid boss, it looks really good. There was definitely enough mechanics. There was enough chaos. There was enough going on to really make it feel super immersive. Now, the one thing that I do see without scaling, right, is if the more people get to Firebrand, like, again, imagine if the ads that spawn are half of what a raid team is. So if there's 6 raid teams there, all of those ads are going to spawn, right? It's over 120 ads that would spawn around Firebrand. So you would have to kill all of them in the vicinity. And if they get channeled, then that's going to leave a stack of enrage towards Firebrand. That's a way that you would basically have those zergs just completely not work. I missed the cape because of commercial. Can y'all show it again, please? So let me see. I think they have. Let me go to YouTube real quick. Give me 1 second. I can have.
Grand Fortress, but
I can have it in the background.
since the story
But I mean, I kind of want to go to the Firebrand fight just because. Now, the one thing that I will say, as someone who loves Melee, anytime I've done a world boss with small hitboxes, it always sucks. My first bit of feedback is to make the hitbox a little bigger. I'm not saying it should be crazy big, but man, I was seeing the hit, like, people needing to literally be like in front of the, like, and again, I'm not in on the, I didn't do anything here, but if you have to be that close to the boss to hit Firebrand, like, that's, like, how, because again, as Melees always feel so punished, like, all the time. It always just feels better to be a range most of the time. No, there was no art update at all. Let me see. Wouldn't even notice for a minute. It might take a minute for YouTube to pop it up. Let me see. My feedback I left on the forums already is more lethality. Highly telegraphed abilities like the Ring of Fire and the Fly Over should be 90% plus HP or one shots. Yes, I think because and I said this beforehand. I said, when it comes to very telegraphed attacks that are very obvious, they should be one shots. They should be. And I definitely, and honestly too, another bit of feedback too, and I didn't really see this fight into phases. It just seemed like there may have been maybe 2 phases. I don't know. Like I can't really agree. But that Breath of Fire, depending on what phase it is, it should get wider. Like, so for the first phase, it's like very narrow. It's very, you know, like straight across. And then you could also have it to where it waves. You know? So instead of it being a complete, you know, like a straight flame, it ain't gonna do it. It's gonna do this. Firebrand's gonna like wave his head around and do it that way, right? Like, I don't know. Like, I think there could be some stuff like that. Maybe that is gonna increase the difficulty, so to speak. But if it is super telegraphed, like, I don't think that's going to be too big of a deal. So again, I really love this. That attack is really, really good. The traditional dragon attacks, I also think, are very, very, very good. So in my opinion, this attack too, very good. I mean, of course, who doesn't like a flame breath attack? I think there should also even be in the final phase, you should have it go back and then forth. So you think it's just going to be a once over, and it actually happens. He goes back again, right? So I think that also brings the whole lethality to the point of the mixture, right? So it's like you have to go run back and then go back and forth. So that kind of stuff. You could even have it visually be blue, right? So like, because Firebrand is in the final phase or the final 20%, like that attack is now a blue flame instead of a red flame, just to kind of, you know, visually show that, oh shit, we're in this phase now, like stuff's getting real, right? That could also be really cool. But again, as someone who loves melee, like I just, dude, I will say this, the designers or whoever did this, like the animations of like the wingspan and just, oh my God, like y'all nailed it. Like this boss feels so good as far as, just the fantasy of like killing a dragon in an MMORPG. Right. I love to see him fly up and straight down and then wave the head for sure. Could have had the flame color change based on the amount of stacks it gets. Yeah. Also that too. I mean, again, I'm just spitting ideas out, right? I'm just saying like, hey, I'm not saying I didn't like anything, but I'm just giving more. I feel like the unheard of animation. Holy fuck. So the other thing I will say too. The music.
Oh.
Brutal.
Bro, the fact that we actually are going to get specific boss music in the open world, that makes me so freaking happy.
He's gonna go again.
I think I might.
The music is so good. I love it. I absolutely love it. That fantasy is pretty standard. I loved and fought dragons since EQ. Dude, Phantom. Brother, I know you're probably working right now, but if you are available. Oh shit, my food's give me 1 second, my food's.
Didn't make it in time. You gotta time it. I'm just nearing half.
Another thing I have to say too, I probably won't be able to stream for very long, because my wife, today is her last day at work. She's gonna go with her coworkers, and they're gonna kind of celebrate her final day. So I'm gonna be here with the baby. So I'm not gonna stream at my usual time that I do on Fridays at 7 p.m. Central. That's why I'm streaming right now. But so yeah, Phantom, if you want to talk on Discord or just chat for a little bit to give your little first impressions, I would love to talk. But if not, if you're busy, that's totally fine. I mean, so oh my God, there was another thing I wanted to say too. Oh, what was I going to say? There was something else that I was thinking about. I should have wrote it down. I would love even a mechanic where Firebrand set himself on fire. Like, that would be really cool. Like if he got so hot that there were parts of him that were like on fire. Whether it could be his horns, it could be his tail. That could be really, really cool. Just kind of set the tone like even further. Bring the baby over. This is the time to start training it for Ashes. It just released on their 18th birthday. Yeah, I mean, we shall see, right? We shall see. MacChew 2022, thank you so much for the follow. And then Hinix, thank you so much for the follow as well. Hope you're enjoying the stream. I hope you enjoyed the stream. My brother, I wish I saw my name on that screen. Oh man, you weren't testing. You didn't get to test this, brother. I know you're probably busy. What did you think of the stream, friend? Just got done watching it with guildmates. So yeah, great. I was just kind of leaving feedback, just kind of giving. Music was really, really cool. I set myself on fire. What am I, a Buddhist monk protesting the war in Vietnam? No, I'm just saying, like, you would think of a name like Firebrand, there would be some kind of a brand that he would do. I think what would be really cool is if he, as he was flying down, if he could have just breathed fire a little bit or something like that, like, or if his nostrils were kind of like emitting like smoke, that could have been really, really cool too. You just gave me a fucking wild idea. Imagine he's twice as aggressive fast with that telegraph flames, tail swipe incoming with burning. Fuck, I'm all hyped about this dragon. Yeah. Work week has been a bitch. Oh, I'm sure, bro. Yes, I was just saying that music was so good and got me in the mood to fight that thing. I'm so excited for the story and how the node story is going to be at the same time, like all those will coincide. Yeah, let me see. Scorch Bodies of all the Did players are his brand. I think that would be really cool too, right? So it's like, I'm not trying to add like more mechanics or anything like that. I honestly feel like what they have here is really good. Again, the biggest thing that this is without me really feeling the hitbox. I'm just concerned because most of the time melees get very screwed when it comes to hit bosses or hitboxes. And so I really do dig this mechanic though. And I think this could be the mechanic that could really mess over large quantities of people. Because imagine having 120 ads because there's like a shit ton of people on the screen. Dude, Firebrand's going to get like enraged like 50 stacks and just start one-shotting everybody. You know? Or there can also be a hard enrage too. I mean, I know there's a soft enrage. I don't know if Intrepid, what their stance on hard enrages are. I know that could also be really aggravating as well if there was some sort of a hard enrage. I love this fight. Dude, me too. I was super blown away because to me, I feel like this actually looks like really good. The dragon looks really good. Like I really like the dragon too. Let me see two things. If it had picked up and if he picked up in Raider and swallowed him whole and called it one shot for the dragon, and then if he had a glowed fire like a full body undertone, then let out a massive blast of fire bigger than anything we saw, that would have been great. No complaints. Love the tail swipes, ads flying, did fire attacks. Yeah, I think again, like it had all the traditional dragon stuff. Like I really did love it, but it had other things too to really make it like, I love that jump attack. Like it's again, like I feel like a lot of the stuff in there was pretty lethal, and it's also really, seen it from Steven's perspective, you don't really see it being that lethal because he's not taking any damage, but you see people dying left and right. So I think this fight is probably already pretty lethal, but if they did want to tune up the difficulty a little bit, just add a little swivel to the, again, you can have the straight across, you can have the swivel, you can have it go, left to right and then back from right to left again. Again, anything that basically promotes movement in this kind of fight. I mean, most dragons, you kind of needed to do that, but I really did dig that. The other thing too, and I know this kind of goes to the earlier stuff, is that the stuff that you basically saw in the beginning, which right here, I know people want to see Firebrand. But the one kind of concern I have, and Margaret did mention it, and I'm just going to pause here, is again, like as a ranged, targeting is a huge issue, right? So I just want to say that just because I said it, I can say it. Margaret did mention that health bars are definitely something that the developers are working on. So I think having health bars staggered in a way, which of course I'm pretty sure that's what Margaret was mentioning or was referring to. But I think that was probably the biggest thing that I saw when it comes to the health bars. The other thing too is that when it comes to some of these, like I don't know if you call them mini dungeons or just like these events, and again it's so hard to tell without me not physically being there, but it looks so like simple. I don't know. Like it's I'm not there. I can't really feel my health. I it's just I feel like some of the elites don't feel like they're multifaceted. Again, if we go back to the range showcase when we were seeing the Minotaurs, some of the Minotaur abilities, there was like 5 different abilities that a Minotaur would do, and that was a regular mob, right? So where is that present here, right? Like, again, like even if there was some very telegraphed attacks, some long cooldown stuff that really chunked people, so you have to kind of be mindful of like your targeted position or this ad needs to die first because he does some really like uninterruptible stuff that really hurts the group, so we got to make sure he dies first. And then again, like kind of just making the very tactful, right? Again, World of Warcraft's problem is just wrangle everything up and AoE it down. Wrangle everything up and AoE it down. There's not much to it, right? And so I think, again, if you want to make Ashes of Creation a more methodical, slowed down version, then you need to have the mobs do more than just a basic attack, right? So that's like my first little bit of feedback. And again, I'm talking not just regular mobs. I'm talking just elites. Like I'm talking about what we actually saw here. I hope that PvE in general is not going to be totally mindless. Too many MMOs allowed players to auto attack mobs to victory. Well, exactly, right? Like coming from World of Warcraft, like that's really all it is. You gather all the mobs up and everyone just AoEs everything. The one thing I really do dig about Ashes of Creation is the fact not everyone has the capacity to AoE, right? You have some AoE abilities, but it's not like the whole group of people are all just casting their AoEs and it's just like this AoE fest, right? You see people doing like the single target approach, right? And that's what I really dig about it, because I don't want Ashes to kind of transform into this like gather 10 mobs, AoE it down, gather 10 mobs, AoE it down, right? Like there has to be some strategy involved, and the only way that strategy can be involved is when you have mobs that actually do more than just the generic, right? Yeah, Planet Dorothy, thank you so much for stopping by, Nathan. I appreciate it, dude. Thank you. Let me see. I also want some evidence their extended class system actually delivers significant class identity. Yeah, I mean, you're preaching to the choir on that one, bro. Glad I have time to catch a stream now that I'm not busy testing something. Yeah, I got you. But yeah, overall, I was severely impressed with Firebrand in general. I really thought we were going to see like another kind of Tumok, and this was so much more than that. Like I really dug it. I'm going to have to get going, guys. I really apologize, but I mean, I got stuff I got to do today. And there's a shit ton of people streaming right now, so let's see who is on that I can raid. Oh my god, there is a whole bunch of people. So this event right now, what is it about trying to kind of accomplish here in this first stage? And obviously these events occur in stages, as we talked about in the past, but for this particular stage it looks like here we'll go and raid Jamie. He's actually interviewing Z right now. So maybe y'all can hear Z's perspective on the whole Firebrand fight.
That this ritual is going to occur, but the only way to stop it is to summon the Lady of the Rose, who was the commander, the last commander of the Order of the Steel Bloom. So we have done things to make it possible that we can summon her.
All right, guys, have a beautiful day. See you guys later.
Prevent this ritual from occurring. So we've got to get to her spot where she
Yeah, let me ask.
in the Exodus.
Could she use a spear?
Can I use a spear? I didn't see a spear.
Thank you, Vlhadus, so much for the raid. You didn't see a spear. All right. Well, there was one. I did see a good question. So did you notice that the death penalties were active?
Did
So
I
like
notice? I
XP
didn't
deaths?
notice.
Yeah.
If